S&P 500 on the move here. Looks like slightly lower potentially at this point to start the day. We'll look at the Nasdaq as well, looking similar. Really strong finish to the day yesterday, but with Nvidia earnings being a little bit delayed, market reaction also a bit muted here. Here's Nvidia, as you guys can tell, roughly at this point. Close, nice pop initially. These results were better than expected, as was the guidance, but we'll have to wait and see if the market can hold up on those reactions. Here is TTD. This is another earnings name from last night. Got hit pretty hard. AI, C3AI, under new leadership, announcing 26% workforce cut. So definitely a lot of these earnings names are going to be in focus. Zoom, CELH, CRM, Snowflake, other names that did report yesterday after the bell. There's not just earnings names on watch. Crypto will absolutely remain in play after the massive Bitcoin and Circle Internet Group rally yesterday. SanDisk and Tesla also with some catalysts. Just so you guys know, watch list has been sent, but there are some issues with it being delivered. So if you guys don't see it in your inbox yet, we are working on that right now, but certainly lots of stories to digest regardless. How are you doing, Sharif?
Good, yourself? Good, thank you. You covered the entire thing. I don't really have much to add.
Well, I guess we'll send it over to the guys to see how they're doing.
All right, great job there. Yeah, it's too bad. We will get the, welcome back, by the way. We will get that watch list out to you guys. Stat.
There's a lot on it too.
We are having some issues sending it out. So
lots of big earnings.
How was birthday day? You weren't? Was it dinner? What were you guys doing?
So well, my daughter's birthday was yesterday, so she turned 9. We still had swimming, so we didn't do like a big thing. And my wife's on a trip.
Oh, okay.
One of the reasons why I stayed home is she also had her Karate Kids like demonstration at her school.
Booyah!
To make sure that I got a chance to see that. But I was actually I mentioned Joe to this as I was walking in. The highlight of the day yesterday was like I'm walking my daughter to school, and we hit like the corner, and her classmate, her best friend who lives a few houses down the street, is walking out with his sister, spots her, and just like starts sprinting. He's sprinting down the street. And then they do this this hug where they and then bounce around. And then it's like happy birthday. It was like the cutest moment ever. Of course, hands are freezing. I didn't have my phone out, but that's always the best. And at the end of the day, we're back. Hopefully,
we're back.
Nvidia saves everybody, even though the market is exactly flat right now.
The market might not need saving mode, but I was hoping that it would save some stuff.
I was hoping we wouldn't be flat after that report.
Well, you weren't even here. Obi was filling in for you, of course, and we 4:20 came and went, and it came out at 4:30.
Of course.
So we were sitting there waiting, and there were some false releases, and we were sitting there thinking, and we were like, it's not out. There's no way it's out. There's no way it's out. And then it just kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Then it came out, popped up to the high side. Actually, that's this morning. Popped out to that high side yesterday. Oh, actually, I changed my charts. Went up here. We'll use this one. It went to basically exactly where we thought it would go to, that 205 area. And that was a past high of last earnings. We busted through to 210, but that was it. And then the fade started to happen. And now you're trying to hold. So I think I have written down on the note today that we're gonna try the long, but basically right where this 200 period moving average is, this is a 5-minute chart. It's like 196 to 197, like in this area is where we're gonna go long. But I'm already kind of thinking downside on this. But I mean, the reports were good, man. The data center revenue up 75% year over year. Data center revenue, like there was nothing wrong with this report at all. Looking forward at it. We don't have the China numbers in it, so I think they could be better for Nvidia than we even think. But the market is all that matters today, and it's only up 1%. And we had said, Obi and I had talked about this a little bit yesterday. We had said the implied move was 6%. I actually thought it was going to move more than 6%. And boy, oh boy, is that wrong. This is almost like a normal day for, no, that's what I mean. It was like a normal day for Nvidia. I was looking at AMD short side today. Just like they didn't have a very good reaction off the number once that was reported out. And so Hamster already, what's up Hamster in the chat? You already nailed it. Hamster was like, Sean, it's going without you. And it's like you already knew for some reason that I was thinking short in AMD. But there's the response off the Nvidia numbers. So not good. And we're going to be looking to go short here around this. It's kind of the same level here, 210 to 211, if we get it, you know. And then I mentioned to Neil, and I said, did he see silver? And I mean,
that's on the radar.
I meant to ask Adara this because I don't know if we ever found any information on why silver in the last 20 minutes went from like, well, don't worry about it now, Adara. There's lots to do today, but 82.50 all the way down to $80. Those of you in the chat may know something about that silver trade, so let us know, because I'm trying to look at silver today again as a potential continuation short. So the sticky note's out. I'm just tuning it up here on the web, and then we'll get that through. But yeah, 78 looking like a decent level here. We'll see if we can hold. Just goes back a couple days, this level, this weekly level of 78. And I said to you in the lunchroom there that it's March 1st on Sunday already.
The fact that we're already getting into spring is...
It's nuts. It's like we have our draft, where we have to draft all these kids to our baseball teams, and the draft is Sunday night, March 1st. And I was like, oh, we still got a little time for that.
No, you don't.
So coaches are messaging me yesterday, hey, what about this player? What about that player? I'm like, what are you talking about? We have a long time before we do it.
You got 2 days.
So yeah, so I'm Saturday and Sunday we're at evaluations, and then Sunday night is the draft. So yeah, man, it just the summer is here soon, but not here fast enough. We said that yesterday. We're like, I think it was Sharif or Joe. They're like, oh, summertime's coming around the corner. I'm like, wow, we still, or maybe it was Obi. I was like, we still got spring.
Well,
spring is my least favorite. Actually,
spring is I love the spring.
I like it for sports
because we get like it's like you get everything you want. You get hockey and basketball playoffs, right? So that's going to be good. And then for me, I love spring training. I love the start of baseball season. Like it's that perfect time. You got March Madness, which is going to be starting. But like I was looking at that silver thing, and I'm almost thinking we could have been somewhat technical. Was my first thought, because like it just had it had an all-day trend break. But when you see stuff like this, and I'm going to use that line again where I say I'm not a charter market technician, but that looks like a head and shoulders could be setting up. Right? A couple of days of resistance at 80, popped right into support to resistance. I can see that as being a short at the 80 level. And let's be real, we got to keep our ear to the ground. There's going to be geopolitical news that can move the metals around for sure. The other thing that's in play today, hey, we haven't talked too much about quantum lately. And 2 quantum names, not just IONQ. IONQ reported, they'll be in the watch list as well, but D-Wave also reported. So IONQ's up 14%. Last I checked, D-Wave was basically flat and not moving. They had disappointing earnings, but IONQ beating on revenue, so this is going to be out there. Whether you like it as a small cap gap or an earnings play, momentum and volume will be here on IONQ. It's trying to hold on to VWAP as we speak after mostly giving up the ghost here. So yeah, that one's going to be on radar for sure. I don't know if...
I just did a food signal to Randy, and he's like, it's not here. No, I knew it wasn't here. I was just playing around. Because normally this is the time when we're so trained. Like at this point, it's like normally we see Randy's like, he's handing me the banana. He's dropping some pears overall.
Yesterday was the...
Hey, the pears were good yesterday. Yeah, no, well, that was Obi.
I wasn't here yesterday. Obi. So this is Obi didn't want the pear.
Yeah. Randy wanting to know why Neil hasn't eaten his pear yet.
Nice.
There. Randy's the resident nutritionist. He's making sure we eat our pears and our bananas,
get our eggs,
and all of that. And
what was that? What was that lunch yesterday?
What was lunch yesterday? That good? No, lemongrass chicken. It was just typical. Oh. Yeah, some noodles. Actually, the glass noodles that they have here are actually pretty good. So it was good. It was just vegetables, chicken, and noodles. It was a Chinese flag. So
take that. All right.
I hear the guy.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the food guy's here. It's just so funny, man. It's like it reminds me of my pets. Like they hear little things, and then it's like boom. Like if my wife opens up the treat jar, then both the cat and dog just come running, and it's like, okay, here we go. We hear the caterer stepping in here as well. All right, let's go back over to the desk and figure it out. Some people talking about silver. Could have been Iran talk there. Some stuff wrapping up. People saying inventories were at all-time highs. That was posted there yesterday as well. So we'll look at silver today and see if we get a bounce off that 78. But yeah, sticky note about to come out, and then watch list. I keep on refreshing. So wait a second, it's there. So I just got the watch list. So if you guys have not received it yet, it's coming. And if not, refresh. And remember when you used to have to keep on now the inboxes are just
consistently hitting refresh.
Pretty good. Thursday, February 26th. Man, I cannot believe it is February the 26th here already.
Training time.
Oh boy. Okay, let's go back over to the desk and see what they're up to.
Yeah, update on the watch list, guys. It looks like roughly a third of them have been sent out as of now, and I've contacted supports. Hopefully we will get more. Of course, we do apologize for this delay, but in the meantime, I did get a couple headlines coming through here. I want to mention VRT, not much of a move here, but Vertiv announcing, quote, a major evolution in high-density data center deployment. Ford, meanwhile, F in focus, filing a recall of 4.38 million US vehicles. So a couple things on watch here. But I do want to mention, as we're going to talk about a lot today, Nvidia, Sharif, NVDA with another stellar report. This shows all of their revenue heading up to Q4 2026. Another record quarter for NVDA.
Guys, stellar report, revenue increasing 73% year over year, but the eye-watering data center revenue now basically encompasses 91% of their total sales comes from data center, and of those 91%, over 50% is relying on the hyperscalers. We're talking about Alphabet, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft. So a lot of concentration risk in a group who's actively trying to develop their own chips. So as they continue to buy, one has to kind of concern themselves about what the future looks like for Nvidia and their relationship with the hyperscalers. Moreover, nothing of the H200s that were destined for China have actually been sold. So those remain on the balance sheet, contingent liabilities, but it didn't really matter, guys, because the revenue blew off the top.
Solid look there for NVDA. Another thing in focus today is going to be crypto after the run we had yesterday. Here's IBIT. I mean, right now, relatively choppy, but CRCL yesterday, certainly a great look here on those numbers. Are you guys looking at any crypto today?
We'll be looking at some crypto, but for all you small cap traders out there, got one for you. It's going to be ALBT. News here is that Avalon Global Care subsidiary has accepted into AMD's AI developer program. So it's a bit of a,
Taking out Josh Allen.
Can't. That's
Sacked.
First of all, no, that was a head of the blow to the head.
That was a blow to the head.
That's a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, flag that out.
Breathe on the head of a quarterback.
You can't even land on a quarterback these days. You literally can't land on.
I love the best is like you have 6'5", 200.
What are they supposed to do?
250-pound quarterback.
That's one of the stupidest
who's an
rules.
absolute monster that you can't bring down, but you can't breathe on him, and he knows how to flop too. That's the best part about it. So good luck in this one. But back to Nvidia for a quick little
Personal
second.
foul.
It's always a foul. I hate that rule. I mean, whatever. You don't want.
I get protecting the quarterback. I mean, I think it's like you can't land with your body weight. Like it has to look purposeful.
I don't understand how you're supposed to like brace yourself this way and get your arm up and blah blah blah. And don't have your weight land on the guy. I'm like,
definitely not technique.
That's so hard when you're playing that fast and these guys are so big. But I kind of feel like when momentum's in the market too. But like, is this not disappointing for Nvidia? Like the whole thought was, okay, well, someone's been holding this stock at 194 for so long. Like, it was coiled up and ready to go. And I understand, like, there's always going to be those that say that, hey, well, you're relying so much on the scalers for growth, and ultimately, can you really keep that up? But the guide was big. So, like, it's one of those, they keep on proving it, and every single quarter, it's like the naysayers are, okay, well, it's going to slow. Well, it hasn't yet, and we just sort of continue this path. Now, the obvious thing to look at today would be, well, maybe it does what it did yesterday. It dipped right into the prior high, like that, right into 194 at the open and then took off. So I kind of look at that window on Nvidia right in here, like that prior high that was a wall before, and then you've got like the little double bottom. So you got this little like target zone if we're not doing much of anything, which it doesn't look like we're doing much of anything. You get a dip into that zone. Oops, I don't want to move that line. You get a dip into that zone and then look for the long today on Nvidia. But I can't say it's not gangbusters. It's not a breakaway play. It didn't hold over $200. There's a lot about this that wasn't, say, perfect. And it makes you wonder, like, if that's what it was for them, what's it going to be like for CoreWeave tonight? Because because this is another one where he really thought like the 100 break. I expected to come in, after last night, thinking that CoreWeave would be breaking past that 100 level that we were talking about on Wednesday. Well, I guess Tuesday it would have been, not yesterday. And it completely failed that $100 break yesterday. I mean, if you if you took 100 long yesterday, I mean, it got to 103 bucks. So it's not like you wouldn't have lost on the trade, but it failed the level because we're right back at 98. And these guys report tonight, a lot will be at stake for them, but a little disappointed in Nvidia. It's good that it's held over 194, but the fact that it couldn't really do much with the 200 levels for now is disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same kind of a thought here, and it's just like, we had really hoped that we could get out of the malaise that is Nvidia. I mean, it's still up 5% year to date. It's beating most. I'm not sure. Maybe Apple might be the only other Mag 7 that's actually doing anything this year. And I have to double check that. I mean, we know Google's been doing well. But at the same time, it's like, it just didn't get going. It's at the same spot again. So I think it's gonna have to agree with Neil here. A little disappointing. It's nice to see it up. There's no doubt about that. We've seen many names get up and then get faded. So we'll have to wait for this true opinion to happen once 9:30 hits and we see where the money comes in. But yeah, I would have liked to have still been up here and given us a chance to maybe break through or hold that 200 level instead of starting underneath 200. I don't really enjoy that look. But I do think that there is some opportunities to get back up to here. We just need to see the momentum come through. You know, the big problem there, and I heard the talk about it there, Sharif, the CapEx, the continuation on the spend. So, I mean, if that dries up, then we got to worry about where sort of the cash flow is going to be coming from for Nvidia to keep pace. There's that deal with Taiwan Semi. So there's a couple different news stories here today with Nvidia. But overall, you know, I don't think we really get too worried, man. I mean, Nvidia's just been a hold. It's not really a buy. It's not really a sell. You know, I think it deserves to be a part of the portfolio. I mean, these numbers that they're putting out are absolutely insane. So we just have to, you know, keep pushing forward with NVDA and hope that the buyers can come back in. And I think it's a good spot to park the money. I don't think this is going to absolutely tank or anything like that.
Well, we're not tanking. I don't think we're tanking.
You know, so I would be fine. I mean, it was just at 170, wasn't it? Just what is this? What day is this? So the beginning of the month, Feb 4, Feb 5. You know, and then back into here in mid-December, we were down here to 170. So, you know, it's had a nice little run up there. Not disappointing by any stretch of the imagination. Had a good move up. Market came in and sold it off. So we'll just wait to see what happens with NVIDIA here today. I have it written down in the sticky notes. Once we throw it back, I'm going to push send. I have the bid right around here, man, 196.50 to 197. So just trying to see if we can hold in and around sort of this consolidation zone from yesterday. If we can't, then yeah, I do think that we probably come back in. We got real hit near the end of the day. So the sell-off was coming through, then there's the relief rally, and now we'll come back in. I'm going to adjust my chart time so that we can get it past 4:30 because, you know, we didn't actually come out. Well, there we go. So there's the move there, right? So all the way to the upside. We'll have to see what NVIDIA wants to do today. For me, I'm shorting AMD instead. So we'll look at that. We're going to try to go long. Well, oh, man. AMD's not going to wait around, is it? So, yeah, it's still dying right now, slowly down to the downside. So, yeah, and then I have Bitcoin written down as a sell today as well. So, unfortunately, yesterday we were very bullish on the market, and that turned out to be right. The Nasdaq was up 1.25% today. IBIT short, NVIDIA long, AMD short, silver short. So that's what we're going to look at today, and you know, lots to talk about. Needless to say, the watch list is packed up. You guys should have now received it. If you haven't, keep on refreshing. It's just crawling through right now. This watch list gets sent to thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, and not hundreds of thousands, but thousands of people. So we want to thank everybody for signing up. If you are interested in the watch list, go to the link in description, hit it, and sign up for the free watch list delivered right to your inbox every single day around 8 a.m. And we want to thank Dara and Sharif and everybody for doing all that work. Sharif's morning note also available to members. It's huge today. I actually saw what Sharif did today. I liked it. He put on here
it's like a tape. It's like
like an appendix or whatever, table of context here. So NVIDIA. Hey, I'm looking for NVIDIA. What page is it on? Oh, okay, page 2. Okay, good. Then Alphabet, Amazon, so they're all right here. And a nice little Paramount, Warner Brothers, TKO, Baidu, Synopsys. Wow, they are all here. Yeah, I saw that Stellantis. Something about first running to a first loss there, Stellantis. So we'll find out what's going on there. So, sorry, Sharif? Oh, you can even, and then, yeah, you go right there. It takes you right.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. The more you know, right into their trader takeaways. You know, anything you need to know about the quarter, you know, it's all right here, right now. So there it is. I was waiting for that. Thank you, Andre, for that one. But yeah, the more you know, and now you know that you should be a member, you should be able to get that Sharice Morning Note. $5 a month, and we do want to thank everybody for continuously putting in memberships into the chat. It means a lot to all of us here. So, all right, let's go, man. It's going to be a busy day here. It's Thursday already. I can't believe where this week goes. Every week just is going on and on and on. So, all right, we'll go back to the desk. I don't think we have any expected guests today.
No guests today.
Unless Raheem shows his handsome face around here.
There's a lot of people that are asking, or at least I saw a couple in the chat.
We have,
because ZSL, you can see it grayed out and halted. Just understand, like when you have these sort of leveraged products, you will have like they do like often splits and adjustments. I think this one is just a reverse split. So you can't trade. You usually can trade it at some point, probably the open at least. I'm not sure. I haven't seen the exact resumption time, but it looks like all it is with this is a reverse split for ZSL. So once you can trade it, it will resume being the inverse of SLV. Like today, like on my note, I did put short SLV in at about the 80 level, and oftentimes you'll see me trade ZSL to the long side. But until that opens up, really, then you can just go over to SLV. But it should reverse split, and I guess it'll be like, double digits at that point. But, it happens. It's pretty normal for leveraged, for some of these leveraged products to do this. And I wouldn't be freaking out or shocked about it. But silver is going to be on watch, as well as gold. And look, we talked about some of the small caps as well that are going to be out there and running. We've already seen one. That was at ALBT, and I do see a few other ones in there. Ooh, someone just said Alphabet jumped. I heard something in my ear about Alphabet, but didn't really catch it. Yeah, Alphabet on the move, not much. Slight bounce, slight move, a couple bucks in here on Alphabet. Let's see if I didn't hear exactly what was said. Dara, did you catch anything on Alphabet just now? Because we did just have a pretty decent spike, $1.50. Here on Google. So we'll keep our ear to the ground for this. They're not one of the names that reported. There's a ton out there. You've got Krispy Kreme. Ooh, that just makes you think of donuts. Obviously, Trade Desk to the downside. Oh, before I throw you guys back, I can't go this long without harping on C3AI. Don't nobody know what they do. Another fresh low. It's a lot of things today. It's a flat bottom break. It's single digits, so now they're a hat size. Not my hat size right now, but actually not that far from it. They're pretty close to my hat size, but they're underneath that $8 level, so I'm looking fade today. As long as it holds under about 8.25, yeah, C3AI fresh lows.
I'm 7.5 hat size. What is that?
So it's close.
Yeah,
it's pretty close, man.
7.5. 7 and 5/8 if I've got lots of hair, which I don't. So
basically, when a stock is, got the breakfast.
Oh yeah, the breakfast is shashuka.
Oh, I'll gotta get on that.
Of course, I said to Obi, I just saw him there. I was like, of course,
so good.
It's that, and I'm wearing white, or this is like a cream. So get ready to have like red splatter.
Well, that got me last time.
Get ready to get red splatter all over.
Thankfully, you could barely talk that.
We'll just like tuck in a napkin here.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Or
it's
something.
Like when you have pasta, like you have like the good thick sauce, and you know it's gonna be. You're just dying to eat it, but you've got like the white shirt on and you're out. Yeah, this is gonna be a problem.
Joby up 6% today. Joby was a good. Oh yeah, that's right. I got to turn off that. They had a deal yesterday with Uber, so yeah, they're going to start sending these Jobys everywhere, and you can get them on your Uber. I believe in state of New York, I believe was the only place, but yeah, they're testing that out. So Joby today, another 5% upside. All right, yeah, it should be like we keep on saying, man. We're going to watch out for Bitcoin here today. It is starting to pull back a little bit. I wanted to just have a quick little look at the dollar. What's going on there? Quick little look at silver as well. The dollar making moves lower right now, as we can see right into here. So that's starting to go to the downside. We can see if there's any reaction to the mega cap names with the DXY. And then Bitcoin, we had a great run yesterday, man. It was all about Bitcoin. We had a $14 winner on Coinbase yesterday. And that was thank you to all of this move up, as crypto just kept on going pretty much all day. And then we just starting to pull back a little bit here. I don't feel like there's any problems with a pullback. I mean, we always say that there has to be some kind of a pullback in order to get a little higher. So let's see if we can just, negotiate this and then pop a little bit here. But with the Nasdaq, again, I'm trying to feel a little short today, but I see the Nasdaq now is cooked up in the last 5 or 6 minutes. But yeah, looking to fade out on crypto just a bit here if we can get something around that 69 area or so for Bitcoin to come back in. So let's just see what that happens to do today. Oh, I got an update on Chrome here. I got to maybe hit that. So yeah, Bitcoin, crypto, and then SLV. We talked about that huge move yesterday, Sharif. OB had that move breaking near the end of the day yesterday, and there it was right there. Broke through its past support, all-day support of 81.50 or so, and then once that broke, the sort of floodgates opened up there, and then it battled back, and now we're back down here, looking for like a 78 or so break here on SLV. Yeah, and then just see it. Neil already talked about this ALBT, so there was a little bit of a runner there. It's since it broke that dollar. You actually brought it up when it was underneath $1, and I meant to mention to everybody, watch that break, and there it goes, right up to 120. So the key dollar level hold. So if you want to really try to go for the moon here, you just wait for it to break $1 again. So now you have your outs. Whether or not you going long here and taking a hit of 20% if it breaks through $1 is not the greatest. But that's the game that you play when you're messing around with ALBT. I apologize, I do not know the story regarding ALBT.
It was basically an AMD story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they got accepted into the AMD AI developer program. Yeah, so look, when you have these small cappers, and let's look at the float here. Yikes. Really? 3.8 million is the float. So that's the story is more the float than the
fact that it's already done 60 million shares.
Exactly. It's turned it over about 15 times, the entire float. So it's been soaked up multiple times, and it's going to do a ton of volume for sure. We also have in 3 minutes, we're going to get jobless claims and continuing claims. Maybe they move the market. I don't know. We're pretty flattish. So at this point, like anything could move the market a little bit here. Don't know if it'll be too big of a deal, but we do have that coming on. And I think there's some Fed speak, Adara. We have at least one today, right? Yeah, at least one.
So at 10 a.m., we'll get Fed's Bowman. And that's it. Fed's Bowman doesn't tend to be one with massively market-moving opinions. She does tilt a little bit dovish, but even then, not in a way that I think would be massively market moving on its face. Initial jobless claims, though, as Neil mentioned, those are coming out in a few minutes, so definitely stay tuned for that. I'll give you guys all of that. Before we get into jobless claims, Sharif, let's talk about a couple of these other earnings reports, because there have just been so many to digest. One that I'm just seeing the earnings call summary from roughly 20 minutes ago. Baidu, BIDU management saying the company is confident their cloud business will continue to grow faster than the industry.
Yeah, interesting report here, Adara. Net profit did fall 66% year over year. That missed, obviously, some of the estimates. Revenue, also that top line number declining 4.1%, marking the third straight quarter of drops. The weakness really here is tied to ongoing struggles in the online marketplace and advertising. And as we know, they just finished Lunar New Year, which is one of the biggest shopping events of the year, and they weren't able to, those numbers are still not reflected in the report. Cloud business, also an important part here. That actually grew in the company 48% year over year in Q4, and they brought in a 39% jump, Adara, on that top line number, bringing in 5.8 billion yuan.
It's a great look. Another look here to talk about just as we await these jobless claims. WBD, Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav saying the company's been engaged with 4 bidders. They've had 8 price increases. They also reported yesterday.
Oh, I don't have any information.
Okay, no worries then. Well, we'll talk about that Warner Brothers report, I'm sure, at some point later in the day. We do have a couple minutes left here for these jobless claims. What is this, 8:28 right now, so we've got a couple minutes left. We'll just go through what we're expecting here. Jobless claims previous, 206,000 consensus, 215,000 and forecast, 210,000 as we await these. I'll mention Hertz as well, because impossible to get through all these earnings names today, to be sure, in this rundown. HGZ actually lower. Apparently there was an EPS miss for our friends over at Hertz, so something to be aware of here too as well. Other names, no PSKY. Speaking of Warner Brothers, Paramount, Skydance, kind of choppy. There were earnings for this name as well. So again, just tons of company earnings and events to be aware of. Not an earnings name, but another name I think to mention here that we're probably not going to get into necessarily is SNDK SanDisk, teaming up with SK Hynix for HBF. So interesting collaboration there between SanDisk and SK Hynix. SNDK, a little bit choppy yesterday, but already gapping up this morning. We'll have to see if said gap holds. At this point now, though, guys, we're just seconds away, 55 seconds now from that initial jobless claims print. Continued jobless claims in focus as well, 1.858 million versus the previous print of 1.869 million. Now, Fed's Myron also apparently speaking at 8:45 a.m., so that's when I wasn't seeing on the other calendar, possibly because he's kind of an outgoing Fed, but that'll be happening about 15 minutes from now, and then Fed's Bowman at 10 a.m. Again, Fed's Myron skewing very dovish, Fed's Bowman skewing mildly dovish here, with just 28 seconds here until these initial jobless claims. We're going to get the 7-year note auction at 1 p.m., but other than that, no massive data today. Tomorrow, though, so 24 hours from now, PPI year over year and month over month, as well as core PPI. Then we'll get the Chicago PMI at 9:45, construction spending at 10. So with a lighter economic data morning this morning, tomorrow is going to be a pretty fiery one. But in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Initial jobless claims for last week coming in here at 212,000. That's going to be a little bit below the forecast of 216,000, but above the previous print of 206,000. Continuing jobless claims, 1.83 million. That is going to be a little bit below the 1.85 million expected. Guys, how are the markets looking on that?
Jesus, Adara is absolutely killing it up there. Thank you so much, Adara. That is... You just crushed that 5 minutes like it didn't even exist right there. And then she drops the numbers to us all.
Slightly higher.
I don't even, AI's not coming for all of our jobs, man. Adara is. So shout out to that. Great job there, Adara. And she's a fantastic trader and everything too. So I don't even know what to do right now. Just glad she's on our side here. But okay, U.S. jobless claims, 212 versus 217. The market doesn't seem to be reacting too much to that. I actually had Baidu up right here. But yeah, we could take a look quickly at the Qs, see if there's any sort of reaction to this number. We've already saw that the extension is now out for the interest rate. So that might not be happening until I think it was June now, right? So we're going to have to just sort of hold pace on that. It doesn't look like there's any reaction at all to this market. So again, jobless claims expected 217, out now at 212. Market kind of sleeping this one off. It looks like. Nice to see that the market has rebounded a little bit here in the morning. We were, a little worried that the market, if it turned red and Nvidia started going downside, then we sort of started the show with like Nvidia saved the market, and if the market was down 1 or 2% today, then what? But so it looks like we get away from that. The only other number we have today is Fed's Bowman speaking at 10 o'clock. So, and I just said number, and that's not even a number. So that's the only other economic event. We should expect Trump again, more talk about Iran and things like that. We just said yesterday that the Nasdaq was off 5.5% off of its all-time highs. So then we got about 1% or so yesterday. So I feel pretty good about everything. I prefer the S&P 500 right now, even the Dow Jones to the Nasdaq. Obviously, with the weighted average being implemented, you have Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, a lot of these big players near the top. So if there is a problem in sort of a chink in the armor here, then you are going to have some downside pressure on the Nasdaq, right? So Nvidia and everybody just kind of holding fort right now. Jobless claims doesn't seem to be too much of an effect there. Look, the Fed is going to be most likely paused until mid-year. So we do have Kevin Warsh coming through. That's going to be in May. And then we got some Lisa Cook. We have to figure that out. Is Powell going to stay on as well? So I can call it up, but I know there's no, it's like 3% chance that we get any movement here in March. And
did we get the memberships?
No, did someone, I didn't do anything.
So it looks like we have, it might have been a while ago, but I am Edward. See, I can tell. Sent 10 Trader TV Live gift memberships. I see a few people have managed to pick them up, so I want to thank you for sending that out. As mentioned, with the memberships, you get Sharif's morning note. So big shout out to I'm Edward, and we appreciate you. I just put in the chat to Los Pollos Hermanos, don't jinx it, because he said CRM was almost back into almost green. And of course, it got right to basically flat on the session and then pull back a little bit. So CRM is going to be in play on earnings. But we also got to find out maybe some upgrades and downgrades with our good friend Joe. And we just got
I'm upgrading coffee.
I was going to say that too.
Ford doing?
We'll talk. Yeah, we'll go to Joe and then we'll come back and get Ford.
Good question, man.
All right, guys, let's take a look at some of the options activity first before we get into some of the analyst actions here this morning. We're going to kick things off, yes, with Nvidia. At that $200 mark, we just didn't have the ability to breach it and hold. There was a lot of size and supply over at that $200 strike price, 109,000 contracts with volume at 130,000 open and closed on yesterday's session. And you can see the bid in the ask there, $5 spread, typically tight within Nvidia's options contracting. Now, as for our Greek metrics, we're going to be looking at the delta, gamma, and obviously our vega. We're sitting on that 40 delta there, guys. It's probably going to be a little bit less considering we did slide from the high after that earnings report. Your gamma exposure is relatively cool, but the implied volatility is going to be an increase just due to the fact of the earnings report. So just keep that in mind. There is NVDA. Now moving forward, guys, Circle putting in a monster session yesterday as well too. A steady grind, and this is far from where we're currently trading at. And you can see from an open interest and a volume standpoint, it's still relatively light. But if we head over to our Greek metrics, and these contracts are relatively expensive as well too, guys, considering we're sitting at like $1,600 for some of these and $1,500 on the bid if you're looking to write. But your delta, considering it's so far in the money, you're almost getting that one-to-one exposure, sitting at that 97 delta. And then also our gamma, surprisingly so. But again, gamma greatest at the money. Relatively cool, and then our at-the-money IB increased as well, so 111% there, guys. Moving forward, let's take a look at some of our analyst actions here this morning. We're going to kick things off with some downgrades. I heard Neil talking about it this morning. C3AI can't get out of its own way, down 23.8% here, and getting its price target lowered, but also going from a market outperform to market perform by citizens. And then we have Salesforce once again sliding here, down 1.8% roughly, with a price target of $225. That was going from $235, now with $225 by BMO Capital. Now MongoDB, Dan Ives' favorite, surprisingly getting its price target lowered from $455 to $400. And then Okta here, guys, going from $90 price target to $83 by BMO Capital. Moving forward, we'll take a look at some of the upgrades this morning. NVDA at the top of the list. Wedbush, surprisingly so, obviously being slightly sarcastic, $230 going to a $300 price target, slightly positive here, up 1%. Now Joby Aviation going from a neutral to a buy with a price target of $18. We're up 6.8% here, guys, by H.C. Wainwright. And then Snowflake also getting the nod here. We're going from a buy and a price target increase from $275 to $282. And then TKO Holdings, Pivotal Research giving them the nod, guys. $250 is that price target.
It was so mean of Joe to say C3AI can't get out of its own way.
Wow,
I mean,
wow, Joe.
all it's been doing is getting out of its own way. It's been lifting the bid, and then it drops, and then they lift the bid, and then it drops. Like, there is nothing in its way to zero. So I don't know about that. I would say it's the opposite. It's getting out of its own way and falling down to zero, effectively. But, well, whatever. We already talked about them. TKO, man. This is, what am I looking at, the TKO chart? Or am I looking at the AMD chart holding that $200 level over and over again? All of that, like, this is when I was just grabbing that delicious breakfast, I ran into Obi, and he was talking about how silver respects the technicals. TKO's chart, if we don't want to talk about something that respects the technicals, look at this with relation to the 200 period moving average, and look at this upward channel. I mean, that is pretty. That is a very pretty looking chart. Now, this cuts both ways. If you were to ever lose the 200 period moving average, it wouldn't be very good. But that is an example of what buying the dip in an uptrend would look like when you find a moving average that works. So shout out to TKO. Good looking chart, but it kind of tells you that you want to be waiting for about $190, or at least underneath the 195 to pick up the next buy zone for it when you're in that kind of a channel. Let it get to the good price, and then you get that good. The only interesting thing in fighting for me is anybody actually gonna, do you care about Pacquiao and Mayweather?
Care? Not really.
I can't bring myself to.
No, neither can I. I do like the TKO stock. I do like WWE and everything involved in that. Hey guys, we're live on TikTok, so make sure you go over there right now. Join us live on TikTok. I'm going to be in the comment section right now as well as we get. I think I got to relog back in right now, but we're on TikTok right now, so get involved with that ASAP. Another great platform for us here, TikTok. All right, so we saw Snowflake on that as an upgrade. Yeah, pretty decent. We'll probably run down this report for you guys here today as well. But, you know, again, disappointing because the expected move on this one was near double digits, so only 2%. But there goes Snowflake off the report, comes back in, finds that base for some reason at 164, and today we're looking at 172. So whenever there's a gap, and this VWAP actually looks pretty good to me, holding in and around yesterday's closing price for Snowflake. So if you're looking at this name today, again, I'm relatively negative on the note today, but I have some ideas. You know, we do have the long in Nvidia posted out. So if the market can wind up holding, I really like this, man. The 200 period was so good. Like yesterday in Coinbase, we were long, and yesterday's note had the very top stock on yesterday's note was Coinbase at 170. All right, this is Coinbase at 170. I'm not even really sure how we completely found this level, but came back in right there, was posted on the note, and then it just respected the 200 period moving average the whole day. So we were long at 170. Our best out, sure, we only had 5% left, but we got out once it broke this back down into 184. But watching it just mature up yesterday was pretty awesome. So if you do get a trend like this, that's something that you want to look for. Like, look at VWAP hold. If you're a little more conservative, that's the 50-period moving average rate there as well. So you could have got out earlier once that finally breaks, you know. But there is going to be some false breaks and false positives sort of there early on. But once the trend starts going, this is when you really want to use those lines. So the reason why I talk about that with Snowflake is if the trend is going to be higher here today, wait for it to start dipping around these levels again. And then as it starts to climb, if it does, you can start to use the 200 period or VWAP as you're out. Okay, as we start to go to the upside there for Snowflake. So I'm just saying that because this has a good chance of being a big runner. You know, the move was expected much higher than where we are. The quarter was not bad. It's still holding above water here. If the Nasdaq wants to go, I like Snowflake. Plus, we just learned there from, I think it was Webbush from Joseph over there that upgraded or you know, commented there on Snowflake. So, you know, like that move higher, and we'll see if Snowflake can work out as well. But yes, to your question, why do I use a 200 for a day trade / noob? Hey, what's up, Omen here? Yeah, let me know what strategies you use there, Omen, and we'll talk about it. But I just gave you an example there about how the 200 period does work for trend. And it's not the only thing you look at, that is for sure. But you want to make sure that you do check out different areas of support and resistance, and you know, otherwise you're just kind of flying blind, right? So anyways, we'll get going. IBIT, Nvidia, AMD, and SLV coming through very, very soon. Join us on TikTok, join us here on YouTube. 8:41 already. We'll be going through the watch list very, very soon. But there's a couple names there that were upgraded and downgraded. And yeah, I saw that was yesterday's play, 32%.
Just looking at Circle, sort of going over some of the names there, because you know Joe was going over. He had this one on the list, and I just added this one to the iPad. You can't have this kind of volatility after, you know, more than double digits. Sean said 30% move off of the lows. It's right back into almost into where this thing had a ton of resistance. Sometimes you can just find resistance on the chart. It'll be obvious, like here from about 85 to 90. So it's at 83 now, and if it moved 30% yesterday, then to think that it can't go a few dollars to move into this 85 to 90 zone, I think that would be rather unlikely. I think it's got a decent chance to get there. I'd look for a fade once it's above that price, looking at that daily chart. But you also have to keep in mind what's going on in crypto. Like right now, you're seeing some weakness in IBIT. And if we don't have any follow through from yesterday, you might just turn around here on some of these names. So in IBIT, it'll be like 39.5 to 40 or so. And then of course, an actual Bitcoin, it's underneath 70K, sitting at 68.
There we go.
Omen, I am the noob.
Yeah, and he was saying he wasn't calling me the noob. over there, which is fine. I mean, I'm comfortable.
being a noob.
I'm very, very comfortable here. So
The market's always changing.
yeah, I know it's all good, man. And yeah, thanks for clarifying that. And no, obviously, no offense taken. I was just bringing it up because I thought it was funny in there. Yeah, we can, we'll put on some bad trades and some good trades, and that's what trading is all about.
Well, I like this. It's all pipes.
Can't get it right all the time.
Why use technicals at all? It's astrology.
Right, there you go. See, so
you don't like astrology?
I don't know what the moon's saying or anything like that today, but yeah.
I'm a Capricorn. What does that tell? I don't know what it's supposed to say about me.
I'm a Virgo. What does that mean? All right, let's go back over to the desk and see what these guys are about. It's all about astrology up there, guys.
Yeah, I mean, like Neil, as a fellow Capricorn, I just think we're kind of stubborn and we have good work ethics has generally been my interpretation of the Capricorn mantra. But let's get into Snowflake. Speaking of, Capricorn, snow, winter weather, SNOW was mentioned there by Joe. It was also mentioned by the guys, but I guess we can go over the earnings report quickly in SNOW because this actually was a double beat and strong growth year over year for Snowflake as well.
Yeah, very good report here, Adara. Looking up 1.28 billion in revenue. That is up 30.1% year over year, and it is ahead of expectations with adjusted EPS coming in at 32 pennies. That is about a 19% earnings surprise, and revenue also did grow at a surprise of 2.4% per year. The remaining performance obligations also ahead of analyst expectations, 9.77. So that is a view of what future revenue could be, their RPOs. Product revenue continues to rise as well, 1.23 billion ahead of the 1.2 expected by the street and growing at a healthy 30% year over year. Some other metrics that are important, but what really is important is that shares are still down 24% in the last month, Adara.
Yeah, I think another one here just to mention as we kind of are heading into the rundown, another name we're not going to get into in the rundown, but I think is maybe worth noting here as well, Celsius, CELH, energy drink company, actually decent volume on this report. This was a double beat, it looks like, and they have about a 7.75% short float as well to beat.
Yeah, very interesting here. Some of the acquisitions that they've made, Alani New, Rockstar adding $370 million for their Q4 revenue. Likewise with Rockstar with $45 million. The acquisitions are really meaningfully expanding their product portfolio as well as their distribution channels. Their brand revenue did decline, though, 8% year over year. The company is blaming that on the integration-related timing misalignment. So we'll have to see if they can perform better a little bit next quarter. Their full-year revenue, though, a healthy $2.5 billion Adara, up 86% year over year.
A great look there for CELH. What energy are you guys feeling from this stock today?
Well, I don't do energy drinks, but we can do some math. And like those acquisitions that Sharif mentioned, that's well over half of the revenue has come from those acquisitions. And it's a result, also margins have dropped. So you probably want this to settle out a little bit. And if you're looking at how that will affect them in the long term, obviously, you want to look more at the growth, because when you get those shocks, like, hey, you add a couple of big brands, or when a company brings in someone else into the fold, and that ends up the majority of their revenue, there's going to be a bit of a settling out period that I wouldn't want to overreact to. All of that said, you can't really ignore the breakout that this is on the daily chart, right? Like, you can't temper that. As long as it closes above 56, where there was big selling before, then it's going to be a bullish move here in Celsius, but it's less than 1 million shares. It would have been under VWAP, but now it's actually looking a little bit better. It's the volume that trips me. Like right now, the spread is $1. Like there's an actual dollar if you want to look for a full lot here. Yeah, $1.09 spread. So clearly, and you'll see some odd lots obviously coming in to tighten up the spread, but you can look at the level 1. So this is a kind of name that I don't think anybody really would look to trade until the open, and even then, you probably want volume to come back in, and that also means that prior resistance on the daily that we think can turn to support at 56, it hasn't actually been tested, and you won't really know if there's strength above that prior resistance until after the open. This is not like Nvidia, which has done millions of shares pre-market and was trading last night on Blue Ocean in the overnight markets doing lots of volume. A completely different ballgame here. It's got to put up or shut up above that level after 9:30. That'll be more important. And we got a super chat from Nick Dubs, I believe.
Hey, what's up, Nick Dubs?
Ooh, you've got, here we go. This is Neil, TTV, which is just the name. Unbelievable flag on, there's a name we never see. AT&T, so unbelievable flag on the 30-minute on AT&T. I use a 15-minute, but We can move quickly, just go to a 30-minute there. So you're looking great entry here with a clear out just below around 28.6, over 3-to-1 risk to reward. Target 28.80 out. So yeah, you're looking at this little flag, which we can just draw it as, hey, nothing wrong with resistance turning into support either, right? So you're looking long, and then you want to play back into here. The thing about a consolidation in the flag, you also want there to be a catalyst, like market strong, sector strong, like what takes it up there. But you've got a support level. It's already bounced off there once. Sometimes that can be enough. And a lot of times when you see something like a pattern like this, you just want to, especially in an uptrend, right? Like when it's been in an uptrend, you want to see it try to hold and then bounce. The only thing that, like I said, there's no volume or no catalyst for it, Nick, but technically it looks fantastic. Oddly enough, I do have eyeballs on a similar, it's not the same thing. And quite frankly, it's like the other direction, which would be Rivian was looking at this 15.6, and then if it got up there, looking for a fade to be able to play back into the 15. So yeah, sometimes you look at that support and resistance. I think you might have one there with AT&T. Just question how much volume it might do today without a particular catalyst.
I'm, as we speak here, I am posting up in the Trader TV Live Academy. So if you are interested in that, get going here. I'm thinking short. I'm starting to post like a little bit of a note in here as well on the Academy. Lots of stuff available here. Trader TV Live Academy is now open and ready to go. This is the news feed. So anybody thinking one thing, I saw Joseph's in there today. Anybody thinking something, get in. You can post it on here, see some of our, our thoughts, and add yours as well to this community. So shout out to everybody that's part of Trader TV Academy. We'll be talking more about that as it goes. Just want to let you know that I'm posting up in there right now and trying to watch out for AMD, trying to watch out for silver today, looking at Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin trying to hold 68,000 right there. AMD, nice bounce off 207, that's for sure right now. Good little move there just happened in the last 5 minutes to the upside. So not sure if something had hit there or not, but we did get jobless claims 212 versus 217, so a little better than expected, but not much movement over there on the markets yet today. But Nasdaq relatively flat. I think it's a good sign here early, especially if Nvidia, and that's what I'm writing right now in the note, is we got to be able, wow, look at that. I mean, the sticky note has on here 196.50 to 197 needs to hold. And, we had made that note before 8 o'clock. And so far, that's exactly the level. Like the level that held was right in the middle of what we posted, 196.50 to 197. So here we go, man. Nice move to the upside right there. And look at this fade coming right back in. Already done 7 million shares today for Nvidia. ALBT, that was the other one. Avalon, so watch out for this name. This is a big mover here today, up 138%. So something to look at here is ALBT, trying to hold that dollar mark. It looks like it's, again, like a nice little flag, right? I mean, there we go. Looking to break out now through this 130. So be patient with this one. Obviously, the volume is here right now, 82 million shares. Neil already talked about the float on this one. 3.2 million share float. Already turned over 25 times. So be careful with what we're doing here on ALBT. But again, you got to like it. If you're collecting rebates and just going back and forth here, it's probably been a pretty good trade as it just bounces between 14s and 23s here back and forth. So ALBT is the runner. Nvidia's on lots of our minds, as is crypto today and silver. So we're ready to go right now. What's up, Farm Trader and everybody else there? Good morning, D-Gens, says JCOIGNY. But we're ready to go. So back over to the desk here. Mirren speaking right now, apparently. So lots of stuff going to be happening today. Fed doesn't stop. They're always
they never do.
They're always saying something until they're told to be quiet. Right now, Iran could be talked about today. I just saw someone.
We're still hearing more. It says like Iran says talks were intense and very serious with the U.S. in Geneva. Hopes talks focus on nuclear sanctions going forward. And then as you mentioned, Fed's Mirren was also talking, saying labor market data has been quite a bit better, but it is too early to sound the all clear. So I don't know, kind of not really saying much there. And we got another super chat, if we can throw that one up there. It is going to be from You Can Do X. If we attack Iran or Cuba, do you gentlemen expect precious metals to skyrocket again and the market to take a dump? I'd feel much better about the former than the latter.
Yeah, I don't know what the market's going to do.
Yeah, like it's I hate saying it, but it's kind of been true. You don't always get the negative reaction in a heavily tech market to military action of that nature. Now, do I think it could? Absolutely, it could. I mean, but we'd feel more certain that metals and oil would be the move, as opposed to some of the tech names, right? Like, how much is Nvidia going to drop because of military action taken in Iran? And you have to sort of think of it in that regard, especially after their earnings, when it's going to do what it's going to do based on that, and people are adjusting after said earnings. So yeah, I feel much more like if you're trading silver, then you keep your ear to the ground a heck of a lot more for the Iran news, or especially oil, than you would if you're trading, say, Microsoft. But it doesn't mean that it can't. It's just less of a concern for me when it comes to the Qs. But certainly, when we're looking at silver, we are going to care for sure. Let's head back on to the desk, everybody. It's only 5 minutes to go until we get into that watch list. But Adara, I know you're going to be keeping your ear to the ground with regards to anything coming out of Iran today, because you're all over it.
Yeah, I have a little bit more, and I think honestly, like the comment that you guys already read about the, making sure they focus on nuclear and sanctions in the future, that kind of implies that there were some concerns that wasn't the focus, and I'm seeing more comments from Iran that continue to suggest that, yeah, I guess they're worried that the focus isn't necessarily on Iran. They're saying that they hope in the future they're able to focus specifically here on nuclear issues, and saying hopefully they can separate nuclear and non-nuclear issues going forward. So if I see anything more on that, I'll let you know. Sounds like these talks in Geneva are done for now. So unless we're kind of getting recaps, I don't think we're likely to get more news from this, but there are more comments from Fed Myron. He's saying that over-regulating hurts banks. He said that they need to cut rates by about 1% this year. Not shocking, as I mentioned, he skews heavily dovish. Also saying, though, on foods and prices, you can always find outliers for inflation, but he thinks right now it seems stable. It's way too early to sound the all clear on the labor market. I mean, with just a few minutes to go here until the rundown, Sharif, I guess we can talk about some of these Mag 7 stories. So now Google here with their Intrinsic basically announcing, even though this company is still part of them, they're part of the other bets, they're going to be switching around the organization a little bit here.
Yeah, very interesting story, Adara. Alphabet's folding that robotic software company. It's called Intrinsic, directly into Google after years inside the other bets division, kind of like with Waymo. We've been talking about that. Intrinsic's originated in Alphabet X's Moonshot factory and became a standalone in the other bets category back in 2021. So what they do, their flagship product is something called Flow State. It's a web-based platform. It enables robotics application development without extensive manual coding. Where have we seen that? Oh, that's right, vibe coding. The goal here is to accelerate the adoption of industrial robotics in manufacturing and logistics environment. So you can kind of feel that this is kind of with the moat right now, where we're seeing robotics really come to the fore with AI, and then the vibe coding aspect of it as well, to kind of help lay people who don't have a coding background actually be able to develop these products. They're going to leverage Gemini models, Google Cloud, and they're going to work closely with Google DeepMind. So it's a multifaceted approach here, Adara.
Yeah, it's a really interesting story here from GOGL. Are you guys looking at Alphabet at all today? I know this one relatively weak yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, before I do that, I just want to remind everybody that we're starting to pick up a little bit here on TikTok. So I'm already responding to people. Some people say they like CrowdStrike in here. Shout out to user 94648228000. Is CrowdStrike a buy? Are you guys on Rumble? Maybe we should be. There's some talk about Kava on here as well. So if you guys are there, go a whole bunch of people joining right now. So hopefully you guys can join part of the fun. And the best part about this, I just realized you can hit the like button on this like a million times. And get going on this. So there's no restrictions on that. But thank you to everybody for joining. I'm going to be in TikTok and watching out for questions up on the, I don't know, I mean, has that even been taken over by Oracle yet? I'm not even sure what that TikTok story is right there. But all right, so yeah, Google was a good play yesterday. A little choppy in my opinion. Like, we had that move right away immediately at 9:30 to the downside. Was that? Yeah, that was yesterday. And then all of a sudden just a rip back up, and we were sitting here and like, oh man, what the heck was this doing? This did the same thing the day before. Didn't it go down to 307? Yeah, there it is right off the open. 306, 307. Yesterday off the open makes that move, then rips up. So that's now 2 days in a row that we bottomed out around 9:35, 9:40. and then just got going again. So for me on Google, it's kind of like wait for that same thing to happen. It does give you another buy opportunity right back at those same levels again around midday, and then again there, and then yeah, there's what Adair is talking about. Nice little move to the upside there as we close out the day, and now it's starting to get a little higher. So for me, if we drip down again, and it wasn't a drip last time, it was like a pretty aggressive move, I would say you look into this area here for a long 311 to maybe 312 might not be enough, but into 311, into 310, that'd be fantastic if Google can come back into this area, and you can then take the long. It would be down probably about 0.5% or so if that were to happen. So, back into here, I kind of expect a drift for Google today. It's kind of coming back in. No volume, as you can see. I don't even need to look at that. I mean, the volume's 400,000, which is pretty good, but, not much action here on a chart. So for me, Google would be a buy, but I'm going to wait for dips and just sort of play what it's been doing all week. Wait for that first aggressive move. And then that's when everybody's like, wait a second, we actually really like Google. We should be buying it. So that's what I'm going to wait for and see if we can get going off of 310 here for Google.
Yeah, well, Obi, when I was talking to him, I was grabbing some food. One of the things he said it was choppy in the morning, or at least off of 9:30. A lot of things have been chopped early, or just inside range, or lack of follow through, whatever term you might want to use. So I want to see it trade somewhere different from where it was before, which if it's underneath 309, then you're kind of losing the bid in a big way. But if it's simply on the 15-minute, like on a bit of a higher time frame, if it can hold over 313 here on Alphabet, then suddenly you can be somewhere that we haven't been for a couple of sessions, right? Like close prices matter more than open, so there's a fail, it closed at 312, and then resistance the next few days at 313. If you can start holding above 313, there's a lot of room for this one to get to the upside. The unfortunate thing might be, we're not doing much with the futures. Like the Nasdaq here, like we're exactly flat, and we're also at a bit of a resistance zone on the Qs. So you're in a spot where it might be tricky off the open to blow through, but if we get through like 25.5 here on the NQ, like you have a lot of room to the upside. So I think Google is one of those names. If the Nasdaq's breaking that 25.5, it stands out as one of the ones that can go. I just think it might be choppy heading into that level. And we'll talk about some more futures right about now, probably more the S&P though.
For 9 o'clock.
We are 0.75% off the all-time high on the SPY, having made that all-time high back on the 28th of January. We're still putting in lower highs, though, but we did break some key technical barriers. We're above that 690 area, so good break there. We're still looking at that key area of resistance back that we put in, I believe, on the 10th of February. That is about 695 to about 696, depending on whether you're looking at the closing prints or the wicks. In any event, that is going to be our first key area of technical resistance today. We're going to say 696 resistance. If we start selling off, we're looking at yesterday's or that 690 area support. That is where we kind of double topped back on the 18th and the 20th.
Yeah, I think certainly lots to discuss today. And if you want to take a look at everything we're talking about, maybe things we don't even have time to talk about, get that Trader TV Live watch list. They have all been sent out today, so definitely make sure to check that out. There's also Sharif's morning note, which you'll get if you are a subscriber, giving you a little bit more detail on some of the stories. So certainly worth taking a look. And I think we would be very remiss if we did not make NVDA the first story of the day for a lot of reasons. Biggest company here, biggest earnings report, and lots of growth once again for Nvidia today, beating estimates and raising expectations.
Easy beat on the top and bottom line, guys. We needn't go through that, but what I can tell you is that revenue surged 73% year over year on the quarter, and net income nearly doubled. They brought in about $22.1 billion in profit, bringing in $43 billion this time around. But the bulwark, the majority of their revenue comes from one segment and one segment only, data centers, which is where they sell their AI chips. That's up 75% year over year and now accounts for 91% of their total revenue. And the combined hyperscaler capex here is projected to be about $700 billion for the full year. But now those capex names, Alphabet, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, they make up about 50% of Nvidia's data center revenue. So a lot of concentration risk there. The networking revenue continues to surge as well. You got to connect all these chips together, right? $11 billion. That segment's up 263% year over year. And their first Vera Rubin samples were shipped this week, pardon me. Fiscal Q1 revenue guidance, Adira, about $78 billion, plus or minus 2%.
Yeah, and I think here with this data center sales, as Sharif mentioned, really strong. And this visual shows you, like, this is up to date as of Q4 2026. The growth is actually getting stronger for data centers. So nice look there. I do want to talk about Broadcom as well. A couple headlines coming in for AVGO. They're shipping their new AI chip to Fujitsu and planning a wider rollout. Furthermore, the company saying they expect to sell at least 1 million 3D stacked chips by 2027. So a couple different chip-related headlines and watch today, guys.
Yeah, for sure. And there you go with that Broadcom headline, new AI chip.
We were talking about Nvidia, and then here comes like a competitor coming through right here, right now.
I've not looked at Broadcom this morning.
It's not doing anything. It's actually going down a little bit on that news.
Yeah,
it did spike a little bit on the 1 minute chart there.
That's a bad looking chart for Broadcom. Really.
Yeah, it doesn't look. I mean, all these charts do not look the greatest right here. I tried to make it as simple as possible here for Nvidia. Looking for the long around 196.50 to 197, but patience is key. I don't really want to trade before 935 right there. So I try to make that mark, and I know it's like 935, like. That's pretty early to do it, right? But I was just about to, this is honest, you know, I was just about to put a bid right here, and then I reminded myself, no, let's not do it right away. And the reason why is that we don't know, and whenever you're on day one of earnings, you're not, even day two, you know, you're not certain of where the big money was placed, you know, before the report. And the fact that we're zeros right here, I'm going to consider this a nothing. You know, up 0.8. That's like an upgrade day for Nvidia, right? It's not an earnings surprise, an earnings beat, nothing. This is basically flat reaction to what I think we all think. And I was looking for the data center number, and it was a blowout. I was like, okay, well, if that was the case, then I would expect this thing to absolutely moon. But it didn't, right? It got as high as 204, 205 yesterday in the pre-market, and I don't even have that data up here. So I am just going to wait. I'm not really concerned about the top side. I'm not going to short anything until we get to that 205. So that's one thing. I just don't think we're going to get there. So I'm looking at this downside area right here, 196.50. That's 196.80 right there. So I just kind of randomly pick 196.50. If you want to look where some of that consolidation is, this is when we were waiting for the number to come out, and we were bouncing around 196. So that could be an area, but we still have the imbalances that come out at 925, and that's part of the story of what I'm talking about. Let the opening trade hit first, and then decide what to do. So for me, I'm going to wait. If it winds up holding 196.50 to 197, I'm hoping there's a lot more opportunities to get involved in those levels, but I want to see it hold first. Just because we like the quarter, the market is kind of, you know, pushing it to the side right now. And yeah, I'm disappointed. I mean, I would think as an Nvidia shareholder, when you get a quarter like that, you would think that, okay,
200.
Yeah, well, yeah, you want all-time highs. I mean, I would think we were percentage points away. All we needed was 5%, and now we're the other way. So now we're starting to even push lower here in the pre-market. So I can't be happy with it. And then before I throw to Neil, just for his opinion, I have on here as well, for the first time, I actually have Nvidia and AMD on here. And Nvidia is the long, but AMD, I'm much more confident with the short. So watching out for this 210 to 211 closing area. They did not react well to the print from Nvidia yesterday at all. It's down 1.4%. So AMD is showing its hand a little better than Nvidia right now. So for me, I'm going to go short on advanced micro devices if I get that opportunity.
Yeah, and I was posting up on like last night, actually while I was at my daughter's swimming, was posting up about what I thought about Nvidia for today in the academy, and it all revolved around this 194. It's like great, we've just gone over the numbers, and you can call the price action disappointment. That's all true. But unless that prior resistance at 194 doesn't hold, it's hard not to want the long, right? Like it was here for a couple of months. Like we were going back into the beginning of the year. We're at the end of February effectively now. So it has been 2 months that about this 194 level has held. And then you had a double top, or a double bottom, I should say, yesterday at like a 195. So I still like that target zone. You get down into that, look for a bounce. We are a little bit away, so you got to let it maybe pull back in and be patient with Nvidia. The other chip name, as likely per usual, that I got the eyeballs on is actually Intel. And look, Intel's been a nice bounce off the 50-period moving average. There's no questions asked. It's flat when the market is flat, so it's not doing anything. It's not doing anything weird yet. And this was another level that in the other direction, a support level now turning into a potential resistance is the 47 level here on INTC. So it's already failed, it would be the wrong word. It's already broken and then rejected the 47. If it closes under 47 on the 15-minute open, then this is a short for myself. But it's about that 47 level. If we're breaking out above that, then forget about it. Yeah, we're saying trade desk yikes, but there's a few other names you could throw the yikes to, and you see that other one a couple of names down. Not the best for the trade desk.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, Neil. It's certainly, the yikes could apply to a lot of names. But in the meantime, you know, TTD, despite the report itself not being too bad, market not reacting too well, Sharif. Let's get into why.
Yeah, the fundamentals remain solid there, but the stock is kind of being repriced on the forward guidance and the margin compression. So let's talk a little bit about that. So let's talk about the margins. Q4 net income margin fell to 22% from 25%. So obvious margin compression there. Stock-based compensation roughly flat, but the guide here, they're guiding Q1 2026 guide about 678 million. Management described the outlook as a little conservative, and the reason is they're kind of uncertain about the macro and the ad trends. The company also did not provide full year 2026 guidance, which adds to that concerns about visibility. Near-term slowdown narrative Adara dominated the after-hours reaction, and it looks like it's still dominating it now.
Yeah, it's certainly a stock that's been beat up since its S&P 500 edition. Before we get Neil and Sean's thoughts on TTD, just want to let you guys know, Apple CEO Tim Cook apparently just posting, quote, a big week ahead. It all starts Monday morning. We know they have these events next week, but Tim Cook already getting excited about this. What do you guys feel about TTD here?
Desk is a tough one because we had talked about this yesterday, and when it's funny because Adara was like, wow, it's $22, and I was like, what? Like, I had no idea that Trade Desk was getting pumped this much. And I mean, I did have an idea, but I didn't, like, it's not a name that we've been looking at recently. Like, this used to be this was even more than that. This was like a $300 name, I believe, at one point. And I mean, this is basically the epitome of trying to catch a falling knife. It's boom, 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 and you know, you're underneath everything right now. The only benefit of this, and we've seen this happen many times, is that you get the SSR bounce. And what SSR means is short sale restricted. So even right now, you're not, this is going to switch to a yes. It's a no now, but once the market opens up, you're not going to be able to sell off of the bid. So what that means is the only way to get short is off of the ask. And what that can kind of create is a lack of selling momentum, because the only way to sell the stock down is you already had to have inventory in the stock. So you have to be long, selling your long position. So I don't know if people are going to be selling it all the way down here, man. This is down 14% and very brutal. I mean, this was $30 back in February the 11th. So you're talking about 2 weeks ago. Now that's chopped, you know, down 35% from there, down another 15% here today. So I mean, you know what? The quarter was actually good, as we just heard the numbers. It was more the forward guide, not as, you know, robust as I guess traders wanted. I would look at the bounce level here of 21.75. Like, that's been sort of hit, and just doing nothing all pre-market. So for me, the fact that we're doing nothing here in the pre-market and virtually coiling up right now, that's a good break spot. So I think we can get it going through $22, and then you can use VWAP as your out. So if you break 21.75, almost just use this 21.50, whatever this low marker is right there as your out. And then if you start to rip up, VWAP will mature up with it, and then we can get out with that. So I don't know. It's beat up enough that I think you can get a little bit of a pushback here. And I think the implied move was around here. So we'll see what winds up happening with the trade desk. But I would say it's not a long, but if it does break those levels, you could get the energy of a long because it's short sale restricted.
Well, I'll tell you, it was between, I had two names to look at, Trade Desk and C3AI, which we'll get to next. And I picked the latter for a short, and it wasn't Trade Desk. And ultimately, it comes down to a couple things. One, like, that was kind of upward trending. But the second part is, if you go out on TTD, like, you're actually, because right now we're chilling like $21. You've got some theoretical, like, pandemic higher low support coming in front of that $20 level. So it does feel like you are at a depressed point where everything has been so bad for so long that you might get that little bit of a relief rally. So I do prefer C3AI, which we'll get to in a quick little second. So I know it's not good for the trade desk, but there have been buyers off of the lows. And there's a saying that I like, and I think it was Luca that coined it. If you don't break the low, there's only one place to go. And so when something's down more than double digits like this, so like, fresh 52-week lows, all that stuff, but it's actually putting in higher lows in the pre-market when you're watching it, it's tricky to like to short in that situation. Another name which is getting beaten up, unfortunately, here.
I want to thank Mildly Entertaining here on TikTok, just because here's Mildly Entertaining. I'm on TikTok. I'm talking about SLV here as well. Best trading program show on the internet. Thank you so much, Mildly Entertaining there. So we want to say thank you to all that and everybody that's part of this. This is TikTok community. Thank you, as we're getting more and more people to join as we speak. So we're trying to be broadcasted on as many platforms as possible. And there it goes on TikTok. So we want to thank everybody for heading over to TikTok. And if I say TikTok anymore, I'm going to go crazy. So back over to the desk. Thank you for watching us on TikTok and YouTube.
Is it TikTok? Yes.
And soon to be Netflix.
Right, don't know about Netflix here right now, but we will talk about CRM because we don't have to wait for discussion of this report. Mark Benioff-led company, nice bounce here off these pre-market lows, but market doesn't necessarily love this report, even though the report itself not too bad.
Yeah, this was a good quarter, Adair, but not the re-acceleration story the market was looking for. The buyback also signals confidence in the company's fundamentals, with Agentforce scaling, Informatica adding growth. But the full year guide here was a little bit of the concern. Let's talk a little bit about what happened. So this was the fastest quarterly revenue growth in 2 years for the company. Their net income rose substantially, a little bit less than $2 billion in profit on the quarter. They did announce, as I mentioned, $50 billion in new share repurchases. But let's be honest about it, guys. Investors are increasingly weary of Gen AI disrupting traditional enterprise software and the growth models that come along with that. Mark Benioff saying, look, we've done this before, this SaaS-mageddon, whatever you want to call it. They've gone through it before. They've weathered it on the call with investors, trying to reassure everyone. We'll have to wait and see. The market doesn't look like it's reassured right now, Adara.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see if it feels a little bit better later. But right now, what are you guys thinking on CRM?
I was just telling you, what's up, Randy? I was just telling Randy right here. Randy's really in our face right here. This guy is. Oh, you can see Randy. There he is. Hey, look at this. Look, there, Randy. Look this way. This way. There's the camera. This camera's on. Anyways, okay, there he is. Randy taking it. There he is. There. Okay. Anyways, all right. Shout out to Randy there. I was just telling him that this coffee was super. I will take another one. Why not? Super hot fire this morning. Like, it was like boiling hot. And I was like,
but it's not a wrapper.
No, it's not. I love. There's nothing better. Like, if I go to you can't get brewed coffee extra hot, but if you can get anything done Americano or a flat white or anything extra hot, I'm all about that. For some reason, Jensen Huang came out yesterday and said they have everything wrong with SaaS, and that a lot of these companies are going to be able to survive. And I think with CRM coming, do you know what CRM's PE is, Neil? I know you're eating now. Maybe I shouldn't have asked you that. Okay. Anyways, CRM. Did you say 15, Neil? Well, you're right. So right there, 15. There yeah, good guess there, Neil. So 15 CRM PE. I mean, that's good. They're still making money, and I just think that they've been beat up enough that part of the problem is not that Salesforce is going to get wiped out by any stretch of the imagination. I just think they may have to bring down their cost. Their charge. To what they're charging, because the software and AI has opened up the door a little bit to create, other platforms that potentially easier to afford. And we've seen this on the chat here, and I've heard people on podcasts and everything talk about this. It's like, if you're already built around Salesforce, it's very difficult to do that work. Yeah. And it does take time, effort, and capital expenditures to do that. It's kind of like, once you're in the Nvidia stack, you've got the software and all of that. Do you really want to undo everything and put in AMD chips, Ryzen chips, or whatever for half the price? Well, it's going to cost you. So anyways, there's a push and pull and all that, and that's for CTOs and everything to figure out, not for me. But at the end of the day, I still think there is money to be had in Salesforce, and the long, to me, off of that report, short. It was down a lot more. It looks like it's getting to the upside again. Don't want to say it's a buy, but I don't think it's a sell. So for me, hold on Salesforce. This is probably a day 3. If I'm already long Salesforce, I've been long Salesforce for a minute. But the idea here is that if after 3 days we can find a little bit of a base, then I think that's when you jump in. I wouldn't do it now, man. I would wait and see what happens to this market. The market's now pulling back in. I was net thinking about the short all day, all morning, and I just can't go long CRM. But I do think the long for now is better than the short. It was just at 184. Now it's at 191. So the move's already happened, right? I mean, there's 715, this thing's at 184. Now it's at 191. I think best thing to do, be patient, see the trade, take it if there's a bounce. But for right now, let it settle. But not a horrible quarter, actually, after all.
No, you can't complain too much. And also you sprinkle in that the 50 bill of buyback, and that's not going to hurt at all, especially if there's a little bit of confidence coming from the C-suite, that they think they're cheap and they think it's a value to buy it up. You do like that set of confidence. For the trade, yeah, I'm not terribly excited about this if it's not breaking $200. You know, and on the 15-minute, you can kind of see it's been stair-stepping down. So it's gone from like disaster, right? Like disaster to slight stair-step down. But the last real resistance spot is here, like right about that $200. If we hold these higher lows and we're breaking that, I mean, today's Thursday, so 3-day rule, put it on like Monday, potentially Friday, but also next week. We hold these levels and we break 200 next week. I think that's a trade over there on Salesforce. I wouldn't be rushing to buy it today, but I do think there is a breakout looming, even if it ends up being a bit of a dead cat bounce.
Yeah, let's talk here about a name that got beat up a lot worse here than CRM. That is going to be C3AI, new management, workforce reductions. What can you tell us about this report, Sharif?
This is a classic growth stock reset, Adara. You get a revenue miss, a guidance cut, and restructuring. You know what that equals? Aggressive repricing. And that's what we're seeing with the stock right now, down about 24%. Look, Q4 revenue below expectations, management coming out, citing what they're calling weak execution in North America and Europe, and basically calling the performance disappointing and unacceptable. CEO Tom Siebel acknowledged the failures to close deals as planned, especially in Western markets. And as I mentioned, company is looking at restructuring. There's going to be an immediate right sizing of cost structure, about $135 million in expense cuts, and including $60 million from a 26% headcount. Sadly, some people will lose their jobs. CFO did confirm, though, that 90% of revenue came from subscriptions in this quarter. So sticky revenue with SaaS. We'll have to wait and see if they can recover. But a big drop here this morning, Adara.
Yeah, interesting look there for C3AI. Again, new management, workforce reductions, real concerns about guidance. How are you guys viewing this stock today?
Dump it. I don't know. I mean, C3AI, like Sharif just said everything bad about them. And I can't remember the last time. You know, it's interesting. We have a massive community, whether it's here, YouTube in the chat, Sean's pointing out the TikTok chat, or we'll get messages all the time on X, or you just be. I don't remember ever hearing somebody like this company. I'm not making this up. I'm being dead honest. Like, there's usually like a backer or somebody that loves this or that. Like, we'll talk about CRM. Someone thinks, oh, that they're trash, and someone thinks they're good. Like, there's always a little bit of a discussion. I don't remember anybody ever really actually liking these guys. And yeah, it doesn't look good. Ultimately, you're now single digits. We called it a hat size. I'll try not to use that phrase too often, but I'll try to get some use out of it now that it's underneath $10. And when you're down this much, as Sean mentioned, it will be SSR. Like, the uptick rule is going to be in effect because it'll be down more than 10%. Means you can't hit the bid on any kind of a flat bottom break. I put in my note 8 to 825. That's not the time, but the actual, like, here into here, basically is the shot that I'm looking for in the short. So it can break VWAP for a bit. But if it gets to about the 825, I'm looking for the short. You're talking about fresh lows, nothing looking good at all for them. They're trying major restructuring. If it is above the quarter, fair enough. You can get away from that trade for sure. But yeah, C3AI, I can't see any reason personally to be long this. But if it just starts squeezing above the 8 quarter, fine, I can get away from it. It has shown no signs of any kind of a bid yet.
All right, we do get in. Oh, well, here goes Nvidia rate to the downside right now. We do get a super chat from Omen right here. I can probably get it, Andre, if it's not.
Oh, there we go.
There it is. Okay. So is the 3-day rule not applicable to Nvidia? If so, why? Love the family vibe there. Canadian content overall. Yes. Sign up for Trader TV Academy now. Okay, there we go. So Omen is in the Trader TV Live Academy. So that's great to see. And thank you so much for that. No, of course. I mean, the 3-day rule applies for every stock. I mean, honestly, and the reason why we think about that is that day one, like I said, like you have no idea really where this money is going to come into this stock. Like I thought it was a good quarter. The numbers say it's a good quarter, but you know, what do the hedge funds, what do the institutions think? You know, where are the upgrades or downgrades coming from? That's day two. So day one, the numbers come out and there are upgrades and downgrades. We saw Nvidia get upgraded today, but we'll see the actionable trade today. So day one is kind of like wait to see if there's any key levels. Day two, the analysts come out and they start upgrading or downgrading. Plus you can get a read off of day one levels, okay? So that's another thing there. And then day three is when you sort of say, okay, maybe all the buying and selling pressures, they've now had day one and day two to figure that out. You know, the analysts have come out on day two, so now we can figure out where the street is on it. So then you look to see if there's any support or resistance on day three, and then you can start to pan your trade out from there. That's why we sort of use the 3-day rule. It's just, and you can go back. There's many examples. I think a good one was I used it on Lululemon to not catch a falling knife. That was a good idea. And there's just, you got to let stocks settle down because look what's happening to Nvidia right now. Omen. Like I had written down here, and even when we had talked about it, I was like, I want to be short the market, but we wanted to wait to see if Nvidia could hold. And I was very close right here to putting a bid right at 196.50, right near support. And I said no. And this is why we even put on the note here today. And thank you for, you know, the love of the vibes and everything, because that's what we're really all about. Right into here, waiting before 9:35. We wanted to wait at least a couple minutes, and 9:35 is not even that long, to see if there was going to be some kind of a support or resistance. So in day trading land, you can attack this thing almost immediately. But if you're going to look to put on a long-term trade or even a swing trade, never a great idea to do it immediately. Because you just don't know where the market's going to settle out. And here's a big reason, because right now are the imbalances. So there's Nvidia with a sell, see? So look what just happened right there. This is nothing that Neil or I can predict right there, what these imbalances are going to be on. But there's the sell right there. Now we're getting cranked for AMD, and you're probably getting cranked for Nvidia. You're probably... Okay, there you go. See, so not even anything happening in AMD. I thought it would have been going with it as well. How does that make any sense? AMD is going upside, meanwhile, Nvidia is going downside. So there's the rule, and I hope from everybody watching that we can teach a little bit of that, right? I mean, I've been got run over on earnings days before, so it's definitely not worth anything. Hey, look, after a quarter like that, who'd have thought Nvidia would turn negative on open? So there it is, man. Nvidia will open up negative on a day where they had such a monster report. So. You know, the market is just doing what it normally does. All right, back to the desk, 4 minutes left only.
I mean, a couple different quantum names on watch today. We had IONQ and QBTS both report earnings, but IONQ definitely the standout here, Shreve.
Yeah, they delivered a clear revenue beat at Dara, and they reaffirmed guidance. Obviously, that ignited the strong momentum in a highly speculative sector. Let's be honest about it. The Department of Defense contract that they got, more on that in a second, adds credibility to their moat. But quantum, let's just be real, is a long duration story. So we're not going to see the kind of revenue that we're seeing in the AI trade for many years to come. The company sees continued demand, as I mentioned, from both the government and the commercial sector. With respect to the government sector, they did sign a $151 million deal with the Department of Defense. Government relationships are critical for this sector as they're still not really profitable. But let's be honest about it, there are short seller allegations as well that surfaced earlier this year that question the commercialization claims of Dara, so we'll have to keep our ear.
Yeah, QBTS, meanwhile, has actually posted a double miss, so very different look here from these quantum names. Neil, what are you thinking about these names? Because RGTI also could be in play here.
Yeah, RGTI will be the sympathy play, but when you see, I mean, D-Wave down and double miss, and IONQ's up 15% with a bit better of a quarter there and a revenue beat. So if you're most traders on a gapper, and for small cappers, you're looking for something to go long, not to go short. If you like the short end of the game, then maybe go look at a D-Wave. I hate to say it, but that's just how it is. IONQ, however, there's a buyer here, at least there has been at 38. You can see it 3 times. They've already managed to hold out this level. This one's an actual breakout on the daily as well. So if that 38 can hold, I didn't really have this one on the top 4 list, but if there's like a 5th or 6th slot, IONQ might be firmly in it if it can hold that 38 level, because the market's coming back in. If you're looking for longs, there aren't many things which are still looking very good right now, and IONQ holding that 38 is going to be the potential for one. It was here on the imbalance locator a second ago, 600,000 buy. Looks like that might have paired off. Nvidia still a sell of 600,000, BTBT 600K to the buy side, but IONQ, it looks relatively strong. Unfortunately for D-Wave, big time miss. Yeah, double miss for them. So they might be up, but I would rather be looking longs on IONQ as opposed to QUBT here. And I say that as someone, like I literally, you know, we own D-Wave in my family, so. But it was a double miss there. I would be more inclined if that got close to prior resistance to look for a fade, but INQ looks much more enticing. We didn't really go specifically over Bitcoin, I don't think. We didn't, right?
No, well, no.
No, I don't think, yeah, okay, so yesterday, I mean, all of crypto, well, actually, we looked at Circle a little bit, but we didn't actually look at IBIT. Big time move, big time bounce. We're still underneath 70,000. Heck, we're underneath 69K here as well. And if we're not going to hold the top end of this range, I'm just looking at this, what we had, oh, come on, chart. 38.8, which we were trading last week, into about this 37.8, right? So that dollar range. If we don't break the top, then I look for that dollar range to re-engage here on IBIT. So less than 1 minute to go. I just saw a headline, Pentagon sent Anthropic final offer for use of its AI. There's been this back and forth between the Pentagon and Anthropic, and they just...
Yeah, not great for Palantir,
it's not that,
but it should be okay. We'll have to figure that out.
We'll see. We'll see.
I have, just quickly, man, on the sticky note, I'm looking at that IBIT short. I think that'll be the first one to get involved with. Right in and around here, man, 38.75. So we're offering IBIT. We'll probably get short right away. Watch out for a 39 break, and we're gone. Nvidia long? No, not no more. AMD short? Yes. Looking at that, 10 seconds left in the silver, 78 break. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. We'll sit in our hands a little bit. Thank you for joining us one more time here as we get ready to rock and roll off the open. So I figure IBIT might be the first thing to get involved with right here. AMD trying to go one way, silver trying to go one way. IBIT not doing much right here. Nvidia, bang, down to 193.50 right now. There goes Nvidia. See you later. Okay, you know what? We might get into silver faster than we think. Silver just made a nice move down into 78.30, 78.40. Watch out for silver breaking that 78 level right now. I said we'd try it into VWAP, so that means it's going to have to be $1 worth of a hold. Here goes silver. It'll be the first trade that I'm in, it looks like, breaking through 78. There we go. We are now into silver right now, so let's see what winds up happening. Let's go over to Adara short SLV.
Keep an eye here, guys, on Alphabet and some of these other Meg 7 names. The information reporting that Alphabet and other big tech companies, they don't specify who, could borrow hundreds of billions each. Now, we know with the information, sometimes it's more speculative than factual, but either way here, guys, GOOGL is dropping. This came out right before the bell that Alphabet and other big tech companies could be borrowing hundreds of billions each. Back to you.
Downside there on Alphabet, already multiple on C3AI, but that stock sucks. It goes right into that 825. We got some 15s, some out in front of VWAP. If we hold volume weighted average price on the opening candle, I don't mind jumping out. This is a potential squeeze play because it's SSR, but it's the low of the day that we're shooting for. It was also the aftermarket low, and that's that 760 level. So I'm going to get my order out. If we get the entirety of the range just like that, we move on to the next, which, oh my goodness, Nvidia is at 193.
Yeah, AMD is tanking too.
It's looking absolutely nasty. And we're looking first at C3I. There goes Intel. Yeah, it doesn't actually break 47 upside, but that 47 short already looking like it was the one. Market heading, well, market's trying to bounce a little bit here.
Yeah.
Maybe Intel's got a little bit of a bounce in it. I don't know. Looking pretty bad.
Oh man, that's too bad we didn't get
that off that fall down over there in Nvidia. Gonna have to go over and back to C3AI because that's the only thing setting up. Oh, IBIT at least.
Yeah, I'm looking at IBIT.
Bitcoin is still where it was before, so this hasn't broken out. There's still a chance.
Yeah, I'm looking at IBIT here. I mean, I might just, try to get a little bit here, although it's not really at the levels. We were hoping for a, well, we almost got it, man. I mean, I was waiting for a bigger position up here, 38.60. We didn't get anything, but here we go, man. We have one, just like Neil there, we did a quick out of 20 5% right there once it cranked into the 60s. So here it comes back in. I'm bidding 50s now. We're just going to try to watch out for SLV and see if it does continue a nice little trend lower here today. Trying to use, like we said before, the 200 period, either the 50 or the 25 period as well, potentially for a reload if this does go sour and goes back up to the upside. Wow, man, we nailed that AMD call. It's unfortunate that we weren't as aggressive as we wanted to be with it there, because that was 209. We had written down here 211 to 210 as our short. So it does tick up there into 209.79. Now look what AMD's doing, man. This thing is bleeding right now to the downside, and it's not finding a bid yet for AMD. And then you had mentioned here with Nvidia.
We're at 191 right now.
Yeah, I mean, that was the whole thing about not sitting there and taking that trade. Like, this is absolutely getting pumped right now. And maybe there's a spot where we could eventually sit here and buy. And it's a good thing you guys asked us about the 3-day rule here on Nvidia, because, you know, this is what I mean. Let it settle down and try to figure out a spot. Down 2% on that quarter, not good, man. And it's scary, to be honest with you, to see this name going to the downside as well. We had a news with Broadcom before today as well this morning. We could see what that name's doing. I would imagine it's down probably 1% or so as well. Down 3% is Broadcom as that's slipping up here. So yeah, not a great start to the day if you're a chip name. We said Salesforce.
Good if you're Salesforce.
I was going to. Oh, you're going to talk about it. Okay, I was going to say we had saw Salesforce come out with a decent number as well. And I thought maybe the death of SaaS has not finished. But that was a good quarter, and the repricing of this at a PE of 15 seems more reasonable for Salesforce. Okay,
it's hard to hate on that.
Yeah, no, it is. We're not, so this position's against us now, but nothing out of the ordinary here for us on silver, as it is making a move back higher. I do want to get a little more shares, and then just thinking about getting out, man. If we break above that 79 area, then we can say see you later on that one. We do get a little bit of IBIT here finally at 60. So yeah, I mean, things are starting to pan out a little bit here now for our positions. So we're starting to get comfortable and take trades that we want to with our stops appropriately set. So right now, a new position for me, setting in for IBIT on the short around 68,000. Our knockout stage for this, 39. So we'll see if it gets to that high side. There's 39 for IBIT.
Yeah, all I was going to say for CRM was that it's not going to break that 200 yet, but I'm not looking at that 200 break today. I thought that was more if it's breaking it next week. I don't want it at the open. Just don't like the weakness in the overall market. And I know I said like 200 break was good, but I was more looking for that. Maybe tomorrow, certainly next week, not at 935 into a market which is tanking. One name that I did mention in my note but did not have this morning for you guys because there was no particular catalyst was SoFi. But it's about the $19 level, and we're not really close to that 19. If we lose it, I think there's a gap fill underneath, but it's working its way down to that price as we speak. I got a quick reload off of this. We'll call it the afternoon or aftermarket lower high on C3AI. So we got some out down at 8. We got a reload at 8:35 and then got some out at 8:15, but it's now trending upside. So we're able to get a couple of times on the bounce, out on the bounce, but it looks like it could take out this prior resistance level in which I'm jumping out. Don't want to turn this one nasty. 190.
Look at the Nasdaq.
NVIDIA.
Jesus, man.
$190 is where Nvidia is right now.
The Nasdaq,
and it has. And by the way, it's not like there's been any semblance of a bid on the way down here. I've seen nothing that indicates this is catching a bid. It's weird. Intel's actually coming higher at this moment, so it's coming into that 47 level. I got to be careful with this. I do like it for short under 47, but the market has been rugging, and this stock, for some reason, is trying to get back higher. So got to be patient for this entry.
Yeah, we're losing a little bit of patience here. Like, silver's going to the upside as the Nasdaq completely collapses. I mean, we had talked about going short this whole time, and yeah, there it goes. So IBIT definitely printing a little bit there. Let's see if we can have some hands on IBIT right now to the downside as we get some out at 55s there for 10 cents, but we're looking for a little more on that one, obviously. And then watch out, man. If this breaks 79, we're out, and we could be wrong on silver. I will be averaging in around 80 right here, and then that's it. So one last trade for me coming in on silver right now. We only took out 20% down there. So yeah, this one maturing up against us a little bit. Yeah, wow, just a move down. Was not necessarily expecting that this early on the TQs, but there it goes, man. Nvidia completely losing itself right now, as Neil just mentioned. 190, nah, no more, man. This is now 189. So we're getting a lot lower here. And of course, silver's going upside as this is going downside. What's up, Adara?
Not sure if this one's been mentioned yet, but CRCL incredibly strong. This is the 1 minute chart here. We are gearing into $89. So CRCL, as the market pushes lower, this one just wants to continue to the upside. Back to you.
Neil, and Circle was one of Obi's short picks, so he's getting blown out right now.
Well, I was thinking the momentum.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know where there's going to be a base here on Nvidia, man. So just be careful. I'm trying to look for that. So we'll see if we can get something there. It looks like 190 might be one of the holding spots right there. Okay, we now have our full position, which gives us about 50 cents worth of risk here for silver. So I'm comfortable with that. You know, we do have a full position here, so a 50-cent hit will hurt, but you know, we're ready for that. Bitcoin making a move down. I just was bidding 50s there. We just missed us. Hopefully we can drop down on IBIT and we'll be able to get some. Okay, here it is. We're still bidding 50s. One more move down. There it is. So we get that right now. Money coming through on IBIT, that's for sure. But it's silver that I'm looking at and have to wait patiently for a move down. I may just get out of some of this in the mid 50s and then just hold on just to stop some of the bleeding if possible. But nice move up there for SLV. Yeah, Nvidia down 3%, man. I don't think we were expecting that.
No, but it just made a nice hold of the 190 level, as you mentioned. AMD holding the bottom a little bit. On that bounce, SoFi got back into the VWAP, which is also the afternoon resistance. So I'm shorting it basically to the volume weighted average price, looking for that low of the day. And shout out to anyone, I saw lots of people in the chat throwing symbols in there, and some of them have been the quantum names. IONQ is now 20% to the upside. I know the market's been falling, but they reported and they're looking quite good, up 19 points here. I haven't looked at QUBT, but again, IONQ, I thought a little bit better about them because they actually beat, and D-Wave was, hey man, they missed, a double miss there for them. Thankfully, C3AI gave us a couple legs out on our first short, and then the second one, each time 20 points, but it's now breaking back out. If it doesn't break the low, there's only one place to go. So you can have the idea for the short, but until it starts failing again at this level, which is the 840, I'll wait for it to get to about 875 here on C3AI. The other earnings name, which was in the tank, is also squeezing. That's going to be the Trade Desk. They're back up 22, about 22, still down 11% or so, but Trade Desk looking pretty strong as well. So yeah, a lot happening, but most of the bounce is probably attributable to Nvidia here at the 190 level. Now for myself, 194 had to show me support, otherwise there was no trade. And I hate to say it, but 194 is now a resistance spot again. You know, that's where it held so many times before. Resistance turns into support. That was a key price level that I like. So if it gets to 194, that's the first place I'm going to look to execute. But at this point, it's in the other direction.
Okay, here we go, man. Let's see what we can do. There goes silver. Nice move to the downside right now for SLV. So we are starting to cash out a little bit now that we're now 20 cents in the money on this move. So it is starting to go downside as IBIT retraces a little bit here. So nice move there for silver. My best out. 42s. We did get some out there at 56, so we're going to be very, very careful with this trade. And now now that I think we have our out, it's starting to work for us. Let's see if we can get back into 78. Let's put a bid down there. 78.15 is where I'm sitting now on that one. We're still waiting for AMD to do something. And then honestly, man, like Bitcoin, look, it's been a good day. We're going to go 2 for 2 here, but waiting for more action here, especially on crypto. I might, now that this day is sort of piecing out a little bit, it's 9:40 now, we can actually start to maybe change some of our stops here and maybe watch out for that day high break so we don't let a winning trade turn into a losing trade right there. And on that note, I'm gonna, maybe we come back in. I mean, I'm bidding IBIT right now 40s. I mean, let me put a little bit here at 45. See if we, we bid 40. Okay, well, we got it. We bid 46 there and grabbed that one. So another out there for IBIT, just trying to let our money, for now, get out of half of everything and see if we can hold half for the bigger move. So right now we're almost out of half of IBIT, and silver, as I was saying, is just bouncing around here. So we are still here shorting and getting out at 79 if it breaks the 200 period moving average. So that's the sort of the plan of action there for silver. I see people asking about Netflix now. Good day yesterday, like a really good day yesterday, and you're starting to see it start to go back up to the upside right now. So we talk about, finding a base and all that. This happened. Oh yeah, that's right. Our charts aren't going to show it to you very well here, but that base obviously it happened down here around 75. Hard to see it with a lot of wick bottoms like that. We don't actually stay down there for that long. But there goes, Nvidia, there goes Netflix right there back up to the upside. And Freudian slip. Let me just check on Nvidia quickly, and then we'll go back over and see what Neil's up to. So we were actually on the stock when 190 held. You know, so that would have been an area to potentially get interested in there at 190. So let's see if that can wind up holding now. 190 there on Nvidia. Look, guys, you can see it right now on your screen. Make sure you get that scanned. Get that QR code right now. It's a Trader TV Live Academy. It's live. We've already posted up on there today. Sharif's morning notes in there. Some notes from both of us are in there as well. Shout out to Joe. So we are getting ready right now, and Sharif's put some notes in. All right, Nvidia there. Now breaking through 190 again right now to the downside. So yeah, a little yucky here. I think that's a good word to start the day. We'll wait to see if IBIT holds, but I'm just short IBIT and silver right now. Lots of names moving around though.
Yeah, lots moving around, but SoFi actually breaks out that pre-market high, so we'll jump out of SoFi. It might be a green one for SoFi. I like that for the long term, own it, but wanted this one breaking down and filling that gap. If it gets to 19.6, that would be the spot that we would look next. Unfortunately, Nvidia, unfortunately, Nvidia doesn't get to 194 for two reasons. A, that means it's back at the low, but B, it does mean it got nowhere near to the key level I was looking for the fade. Yeah, it's not looking like a very good start overall for these chip names or the market in general. So that's going to lead me back to the short that I liked was going to be Intel, but it's already back at the lows. There was no challenge of 47. It's basically holding. It's going to be hard to see VWAP. It's all over the place. So I'm going to wait for it to get closer to that 47 level. It's still a bit of an inside day for Intel, which can be a good thing, but I don't want to be rushing into this one when it's just a chop fest. Like, it's choppy. The market's one directional to the low, mostly because of what we're seeing over in NVDA. And you mentioned Netflix. Just a note, I'm a dip buyer on WBD, at least if it gets close enough to about 28.75. You see that one pop in. It's been range bound since that higher bid came in from Paramount Skydance. Came at 31 instead of 32, which was a bit of a surprise. Still a chance. Right now the market's pricing in that they're going to win, though. They're kind of pricing in that it's not going to be Netflix.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one.
I think that's a good thing for Netflix.
Yeah, I mean,
the price anyway.
You're right. I mean, because the price is definitely agreeing with you on that statement there. Okay, just. So silver's not doing much. IBIT is one that's doing something right now. So IBIT making the move down, and we had watched out for Bitcoin, and it was just like one of those things where we saw such a great move yesterday. I mean, we hit Coinbase yesterday. We could look at Coinbase today again if need be. But yeah, just looking for that break, right? I mean, you're underneath. We started to sort of slope down there. Was a great day yesterday, maybe potentially a pullback day today, and it looks like that is exactly what we're getting. And there it is. Yes, sir. This is your #1 trade idea on the sticky note today. The #1 idea, IBIT short at what price? 38.75. What price do we have? 38.68. So it's a good short, and there it goes, man. The #1 trade right there. And then there goes silver as well. Silver just cranking lower. We got a nice little fill there on SLV. Oh boy, is today a day. IBIT making a move lower right now, and we get lower, lower, lower. There it goes, 38.25 and change. Remember, guys, we all started with the Trader TV Academy. Join now. Get some of that energy back into your life with Trader TV Live Academy. We posted up. I already posted on there that we were looking for IBIT, looking for Nvidia today. So get over there, check it out. It's the Academy. But there goes IBIT right now. Monster move to the downside for me anyways. We got a good amount of shares. We're going to hold on to this and see what winds up happening with IBIT to the downside. It's all about preparation. You got to be prepared, and you got to have your trade ideas. We have that. A little bit of a reload there on silver, and then now there's a downside play. We're just going to keep on taking bids, man, if we can, and wait for this 78. So no more bids till 78.15, and then maybe we get that flush, and if not, our stop is 79. I think we've discussed that in depth a little bit there as well. Someone said Open Door was ripping.
Oh, by the way, for those that were asking this morning, ZSL, that split, it is back open. You can trade it just like normal. Just remember, it was a 1 for 10 split, so it's now $18 instead of $1.80. But it's exactly like it was before. This breaking VWAP would be silver breaking down. So I had silver on my note, but I do like some ZSL, especially when you can get like a trend break. So this consolidation here is $18.95. If we can hold above VWAP and break out above VWAP, again, that would be silver going to the downside, but it is open. It's very normal.
Silver's cranking lower, baby.
Very normal. You have splits and you have readjustments all the time.
Holy
These,
shit.
What do we call them? Leveraged ETFs.
Yeah, guys, we're huge now today, and it's part of it is just what Neil was just talking about there. Silver. I mean, this is really starting to pay div right now. We did get some talk. Let's talk about some other stocks. We did get PayPal going the other day. There was Stripe news. There was, some potentially big banks interested in looking at some PayPal there. So guess what? PayPal is for sale, and everyone can line up and get their bids going right there. A nice move there for PayPal. Flat on the day right now is PYPL. So definitely worth a little look there on PayPal. It's not just Nasdaq's world here today, right? I mean, there's lots of stuff happening, but it's on the day of Nvidia. Nvidia's now, unfortunately to everybody, at day's low and getting even lower. We missed the AMD trade. That was a pretty easy one off the open. Now I feel like it's difficult. It's trading in the middle here. I've canceled everything now in the market here. So let's just be patient with this and wait to see what we're doing. But for right now, this is a monster here as we just got silver right down in there, and we got IBIT as well down into the teens. I'm going to take advantage of this play and get out a little bit more here on the downside for IBIT. I have to punch out some 20s. We missed 15s there. And silver's on the way back up again. So it's so funny. Like the net is just bouncing around here as we just had silver crank into the 30s there again. Let's put another bid just in case that doesn't wind up holding. I have 60% of this trade. So definitely willing to take a little bit more out here as we get a little, I don't think we're getting greedy. It's open. It's the open, right? So you got to let things, trade out for you.
Broadcom might be the one getting rinsed the most.
Is it? Yeah. I mean, that was go ahead with Broadcom down 4%. I think Nvidia's down 4% too, actually.
Well, but Nvidia's on earnings. I think obviously Nvidia is down 4 points, but you expect that they could be a little bit more volatile on their earnings, and this is a bit different for Broadcom. It's catching some strays, which makes a little bit of sense, but not looking very good. We said this chart doesn't look good. Well, we're at the 200 period moving average. It's a pretty big one on the daily. If we lose $316, if it loses $316, I shouldn't say I don't even own Broadcom stock, but it's in every index. So you own the Nasdaq, then you own Broadcom. And you own a bunch of it, so let's be real. But we are at that 316, 317, 200 period. If it catches a bounce, great, but that's a daily chart. Daily charts only matter on that time frame and that time frame alone. So not looking very good for them. I've seen a lot of other names in the chat. I know the UiPath, everyone's talking about UiPath and Krispy Kreme, delicious. Both moving. Path is up about 4 points, but it's really D-Nut. Which is up 35%. That said, it's a $4 stock. 35% does not mean as much when you're a $4 stock, but it is headed up after their earnings. Watch out for 450. That is an overhead resistance level from before. So I'm in the inverse of silver, which is ZSL. We're back into C3AI. It did blow out this top. And we got out, then we entered back in when it wicked that high, looking for the volume weighted average price, and then ZLS, which is playing off of the volume weighted average price. The only trade that I haven't made is Intel. Well, look what happened to Intel at VWAP. It just crushed. Now it's down about $1 from the volume weighted average price here on INTC. I'm not going to chase the move. We were looking for a little bit tighter to VWAP here, and now it's falling like an absolute rock. This might end up being one of those, well, a reversion long comes before any chance to get into the short. It's now down 3%. All of the chips are fading. You can pretty much blame it on Nvidia's turnaround, and they've taken pretty much everyone with them. It's just that simple.
Yeah, not even pretty much. Like, yeah, it's I mean, that's exactly what it is. So, good look over there. All right, we got a little greedier there on silver and started too greedy potentially, and just started taking out some more profits here as we start to get back up to the upside. You can see that 79 coming into play right away here. So we got to be careful. You mentioned DNUT. I don't know. Krispy Kreme had is it Dara back there? Yeah, Krispy Kreme had a report, right? They reported last.
They indeed had quarterly earnings.
Yeah, so there it is, man. Krispy Kreme donuts. These donuts making a nice move to the upside right there. This is the most gifted thing in Trader TV Live history as far as people sending stuff here. So there goes Krispy Kreme breaking through 475 would be your trade. And you know, this was an interesting name because when Beyond Meat was going and people were looking for like funny names to get going, I remember we were trading DNUT, and it does have a big short float as far as I remember. Yeah, so still 23, good memory, still 23% short float right there, not making any money. And as I believe I heard on the way in today on Bloomberg Radio that they're going to be focusing on international expansion. So I've even noticed here that there's a few more on my way home on college here through Little Italy. There's a Krispy Kreme now, and there's lots of different options now for KKD, Krispy Kreme donuts, D-Nut right there. So yes.
There are two within like at least a 5-minute walking distance of my neighborhood in every direction. So I mean, at least like I might be at the hub of them, but there are certainly like more than you'd think in Toronto.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, and a lot of them are just popping up now. So watch out for some Krispy Kremes in your life right now. And yeah, so just a quick look at the broader market. It's 953 right now. So I know we've been focusing on let's go. Like I can't even stop mentioning silver and IBIT because those trades are pumping right now. But there's finance, and what a day we had yesterday, man, trading that Coinbase, and we had another big, huge trade yesterday as well. I think it was Nvidia, wasn't it? But anyways, there it is. Financials today really starting to go. Neil was looking a little bit there at SoFi. We could talk about Robinhood after this as well, but Robinhood and IBKR, the two down names right there because of crypto, and we said, like, that's just a crypto trade, and, we got to watch out for that. AXP, pretty cheap right now as well. They've been getting hit for a minute. They're back up 3%, so that's really nice to see that for NYSE. For AXP. Visa also a good name. I like these names. They've been getting through the ringer a little bit there on some of the talk of the 10% cap for interest rates there. But as Neil had mentioned before, it does look like Broadcom is going to be the one that's getting punched in the face the most. Corning, also strange. I mean, I know Apple's going with their own glass now, so that's going to be affecting some Corning product there and some pipeline for them. Sienna down as well as some of the equipment makers maybe getting to the downside, which I don't know why. There's Micron down. I'm assuming SanDisk also taking it. There's Seagate minus 3% as well. So there's WDC. I don't see SanDisk on here, but I'm sure it's
not that.
Oh, SanDisk might not even be in the S&P 500. It's a new
It is, but it also had its own catalyst with SK Hynix. They're partnering up.
What was it? Okay.
Okay, so we can look at SNDK. Thanks to Dara for that one. And then here, look, again, man, big moves. Chipotle. We had Kava yesterday. We can look at Kava earnings in a minute as well. But yeah, this space, there's TKO on an upgrade and earnings as well. Starbucks going around. There's Comcast. We talked about Warner Brothers starting to have that fight now. Who going to buy, who not going to buy, who next there. And then the name that I want to buy more of is in this space right here. I want to get some more energy names. So XOM on a little bit of a pullback, still hovering around that 150. What a marker that has been. Randy's been talking about that one since 110. So shout out to that guy. Randy with that kind of a call, but I really like energy and just trading the ETFs. I didn't look at oil itself, but
it's
I like
on a pullback, but flat today so far. Like it's down obviously, but oil futures that is. But we're above VWAP and we're essentially flat. So into a tanking market, this has actually been pretty.
Can I just interrupt you?
There's one annoying thing. Oh, yeah.
I just want to answer a question here because this happened yesterday. Okay, here we go, Greg Mortensen. So I just want to ask this because this was mentioned yesterday about a position that Joe had. How our software works, okay, is my price is going to get better because the very first time I get shares and I get out, it takes 78, okay, as the average price. Let's just say I have 100 shares there. If I'm now out of that 100 shares, then it goes to this price. If I'm not out, then it blends them. But right now, I'm only holding, it's because it doesn't use the average price, okay, the whole way through. It keeps on taking it out, and that's because we work with loss from top. We have loss limits, so if we're certain, I think it's 150% or something of our daily risk, and we get stopped out. So now it's calculating, because he's like, well, how does he have 78.80s? It's because it's using this piece right here as what we have left. That's 78.80. So that was my last average in right there. So I just wanted to address that because it happened to Joe yesterday as well, or maybe it was Sharif, I can't remember, but someone had said, how is that possible? And that's how it's possible. It's not doing this plus this plus this. It's not giving an average blended price. It does first in, first out. So the minute this trade is out, then it works on that price. And the minute that price is out, then it works with this price. So that's why it's there, and I wanted to zoom in to show you. And I talked about it when we got that. I said, okay, we're reloaded now a little bit more there, and so that's where that comes from, and that's what that is. So I just wanted to double clarify that because it did come in yesterday. It was during the midday. I wasn't able to hop in there, and I'm not sure the guys saw the message. So
FIFO, not LIFO.
Yeah, exactly. So for trading, I am for life, okay, but for this, I am FIFO, and that's how that works. So for now, and hopefully you guys got that for life reference. All right, so IBIT making the move back up. I'm going to take a little bit of a piece out here at 39. There it goes if we can get it, because you are at, and I didn't even realize it, at that 21 period. The stop out is right here. I'm going to use VWAP as my stop. The day is going on right now, 10 o'clock. We've seen this blow back upside, right? So we don't even need to wait for that. Let's just get out if it breaks VWAP 38.50, okay, guys?
Speaking of things that are breaking, Palantir's breaking higher.
Oh, okay.
2%
Well, that's this trade we had yesterday.
into a weak market. 2% up on Palantir. I don't think there was a headline that we missed, but if you're just tuning in right now, that's the strongest one. It's got a 136 break on the 15. There's resistance at 139. Dara, was there anything we missed on Palantir?
I'm not seeing headlines, but there is that Iran concerns. Like there were comments yesterday from Marco Rubio saying that Iran has weapons solely designed to attack America. So there's like a lot of, I think, tensions right now in terms of, you know, this being a defense play. That's as far as I'm seeing.
Okay. Well, as silver, okay, well, silver goes down. ZSL is going to go up. I'm going to keep having to shift this because they were split. My chart that I like to look at yesterday as well, but you can't really look at yesterday for this. But it's now bouncing off that volume-weighted average price. Want to play this into the high of the day here, which would be the low of the day for ZSL. The other thing that's looking incredibly, well, volatile is the right word. I'm going to keep it with volatile. And strong is this IONQ. At this point, there was no retest of 38. There's a chance we could just look at the volume-weighted average price for potential entry. I haven't looked at D-Wave, IONQ, the stronger one. They actually had a beat as opposed to missing on earnings. And we're still, C3AI is basically, not basically, it's exactly where it was before. So no change. I'm going to quickly show you the black chart. Still bidding in front of VWAP, and it's right under this wick high. You grab the short on the way back in, but if it breaks that top, just going to jump out of it. So still the same trades, and I mentioned I would get into some WBD in front of that 3/4 mark as well. And hey, Randy's in the house. See, this time I actually noticed. The other day you came right by with coffee, and my coffee just sat there the whole morning. Apparently wasn't even paying attention.
Shout out to Randy there coming through. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing there on silver, waiting for that low of the day tick to come through. I was bidding 78.15s. That was that order that we've been waiting for the whole time. Bounces off of 78.20. So I'm going to go back in to 78.30s or so, see if we can get a fill back down there for a little less shares, but make sure that we do take a little bit of profit. The out for silver, I'm actually going to change it now to this 200 period, 78. Just make sure, here's IBIT, so this is what we're using, right? 78.60 break on the 200 period moving average. SLV here, same kind of way. Look at, man, that's not doing anything. Let's go to 78.80, okay? So 78.81 there, the break for silver. Basically the price that we're in. Hey, look, man, if it breaks higher, it breaks higher. We could take an L on it. We have no losers today, so we'll be able to sit there and do that. Obviously, we only have these two stocks. So here it comes, man, 78. What did I say? 81, I think. All right, we'll just stop out there if it does come through. And just because I do have a stop there, I always like to put out a bid if I just to put a stop in. So if it does dance around here, we're able to take something out before it rips up there against us. But that's what we're looking for. SLV and ALBT, there it is. Yes, sir, we get that 55 there. Avalon pulling way back in right now. Remember what we said, or what I said anyways, if we break that 130, maybe we go. We haven't broke that yet, and now you're back in, and guess what price we just bounced off of? What a surprise. We're bouncing off $1 right now.
I thought that was under $1.
It might have, yeah, it got to 95, it looks like there. I guess it halted actually as well, so I didn't even notice that one. All right, what's up, Adara? I believe.
Yes.
Keep an eye here on this market. This is dropping your 15-minute chart. The Nasdaq just bright red. S&P 500 looking exactly the same yesterday. These were kind of moving a little bit differently in terms of the timing of their breakouts today, though. Both the same, both sharply to the downside. Furthermore, CNBC reporting, I'm just seeing this coming up here, that apparently some senators have flagged conflict of interest concerns over the USAR, or USA Rare Earth deal that was made with the U.S. government, specifically involving the involvement of Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick's former firm, Cantor Fitzgerald, USAR. Don't think there's too much of a move on there, and also unsure if this is breaking news, but just seeing it circulate now, did want to keep you guys apprised that that headline is popping up right now. Let's talk about NVDA. Nvidia, of course, on watch. Earnings report better than expected, as the company does tend to do, and better than expected guidance, but selling off today despite all of that. TTD, meanwhile, actually initially gapped down, but nice recovery from lows for the trade desk. EPS and sales beat, but that guidance a little bit of a concern for them. Furthermore, continuation plays on watch today too. Circle traded more than 30% higher yesterday at the close, about 6% to the upside here today as day two earnings. Needham actually lowering the price target on the stock, but that $130 price target still a premium from the $88 where we are currently trading. Do make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and make sure to check out Trader TV Academy. Send you back over to Sean and Neil.
One of the best things about the Academy is the fact that you will be learning with a group. We're all there. You can check us out in the chat. We all put our morning notes up there. So if you scan the QR code out in front of you, you too can join the Academy where the water is nice and warm. It's cold in here, but it's warm there. I want to throw up the visualizer, and I just want to remind everybody that's in the chat right now. If you are discussing symbols or asking about symbols or just typing any symbol that you're interested in, don't forget to put the $ in the chat. It's a subs-only chat. So first thing, hit that like, hit the subscribe, most importantly, and then hop in. Nvidia is #1 by a long shot. You got Palantir, IONQ. We have not talked about Netflix, I don't think, Circle, CRM, and then RXT. I guess Rackspace is not done yet, apparently. So don't forget, type in $. Let's see them all starting to matriculate in there, CRM, some trade desk. And then when we do the rundown in the afternoon, you have given your word of what you would like us to discuss. Pretty sure NVIDIA is going to stay at the top of that list.
Yeah, so we're coming back upside here. But now that Trader TV Academy is officially live, we're seeing so many of you diving into the modules, and thank you for that. We've also been posting a lot on the news feed, so catch us there. The markets move faster than ever in 2026, as you can see, and the Academy is built to give you that modern edge. Get started on your trading journey. Starting price is $480. Now, if you haven't joined, there's tons of traders already inside, posting as we speak. Now is the time. Scan the QR code on your screen or head to, why not head to both, tradertv.academy and start building your foundation today. And, we've talked a little bit about what the Trader TV Academy is, how it operates. Here's the post section that you can make. Whoopsies, oh, I just closed it. I'll get that in a second. I just closed the, you have it right there. I just closed the.
I'll quickly show. I mean, we got the news feed in here. It's very user-friendly. So it's all software, there's missions, there's the campus program, the library of information, your journaling, where it's an important thing to go over your trades, I think. You can set up your journal. The news feed, I posted. Sean's in here as well. See, look, plan the trade the plan. That's what we always talk about.
Okay.
And that would have been the Coinbase one last night. I was actually at swimming and I was reading that one last night. Although I suppose I should have been watching my daughter's.
No.
I try not to be that parent who's ever on the phone. Usually I'm watching.
Yeah,
but like, it's a class and so they're sitting there and doing the treading water. I'm like, yeah, treading water is kind of boring.
Yeah.
It's important, but it's very, very boring. And my daughter needs to work on her form and technique. She tries to just get from one end.
She's not taking after your swimming?
No, she gets one end to the other as fast as possible, seems to be her goal.
Yeah.
It's like, look, worry about the technique first. I know you're trying to do it faster than the boy that's in your class, but that's not what it's about at this stage. It's not a race. You're just trying to get better. And then if you practice the technique, you will end up being even faster. Is that Sean on an abacus?
That's hilarious. That's awesome. So now look at my, wow, I have huge forearms there. I like that. There it is. What exactly are we doing over here right now? But I need to get that vest. That is a hot vest.
My vest, see my
right
vest.
There. Trading on the Academy, that's what it is. It's talking about the old markets and everything like that, and trading with, on the ship and all that kind of stuff, and trade. And we actually talk about that in the Academy. One of the first lessons is trying to understand, the history behind the stock market and trading and everything like that. So that was kind of
break out your slide rule and start doing some complicated math.
Right there. I don't know. Oh, my daughter has an algebra test today. She was all nervous about it. So we were studying some algebra. I was like, 3x minus 4x equals 12. What is x? Things like that. So shout out to algebra and all the teachers out out there doing the best work for us. RSI weekly. Okay, well, yeah, we can call up RSIs and all that kind of stuff. So relative strength index. If you do, I don't know what it was. We can check it out on the weekly. I'll call it up in a minute. But generally speaking, anything underneath 20 to 25 on the RSI is relatively low and means that you are into potentially an oversold situation. So I think SoFi probably, just on the beatdown that SoFi has been having lately, I would say is most likely oversold. And that would not surprise me one bit. If you get that kind of a reading on your RSI, I'll call it up in a minute, but there's SoFi. What a move to the downside. So thank you for that comment. Look, I like it. I've been buying it. I bought some at 25, I bought some at 22, and now we need to let this thing settle down because I'm out of money. So we'll have to wait where we go from here on SoFi. But I like the stock. I think it's one of those new technology names, right? And with their banking charter and everything, I think SoFi continues to work. It's just you are in a drawdown right now in the banks, right? We saw what XLF is doing.
The XLF.
JP Morgan's down 10%. So
it's a good rebound in the XLF, though. Like the XLF, by the way, is looking a little bit more bullish. That big support at 51, big time hold. Why did I not like this to the long side today? That's a really good question. I'll slap the fail. Why? Because 51 was the level we liked. It zoomed. I wasn't here yesterday to see it regain that 51 level, but you could get into the 200 period. So watch out for the financials if we press another point or 0.5% higher, I guess that would be. A good rebound for them, but I don't know. Are we really out of the woods yet? I think some of the Blue Owl private market for credit has possibly been a little bit overdone. That seems to be cleaning itself up a little bit. So it's not all systems go because you're under the 200 period on XLF. But yeah, I do like the financials a little bit more now. So range bound here on ZSL. Like it will get to the top. It's holding support, but it looks like lower highs, we're going to break, been scalping some out, but we're going to break this 1875 and then I'll end up jumping out of it. I've been doing some of a hold and a higher low here in WBD, but there's been no press through. Yesterday it did a similar move where if you're better, you would have got these prices at the lows, but the same price that it held in the morning yesterday, just buying a higher low, looking for a press higher. And if it breaks 29 at any point, I think that can be a bit of a squeeze to set upside. And then back to Nvidia. You know what? Nvidia's got a bit of a trend forming off the lows here. So just check this out. So there's your dump at 930. Now you've got clear lower highs into a potential trend break. I say potential because it has yet to do so. We're still lower highs, still lower lows being put on NVIDIA, but it's getting really close to a potential reversal here into the volume weighted average price. So NVIDIA loses the bid, tanks the market after a blowout quarter. What else is new? You know, we're still, NVIDIA just does what pretty much every other tech name has been doing. It doesn't matter if you beat. We're going lower.
Come on, give me that bid, man. All right, we'll just take it right here on silver. Oh, man, we were waiting. Like, that's a couple times it's missed me on the downside. Like, I was just bidding 51s there. It went to 52. So now I'm at 55. Like, I feel like silver probably going to start to head back to the upside right now. I keep getting missed on all of these bids. Here it goes. Give me some 55s now on that downside. But you know what we're not missing right here? And it's been a big, big one for me today. There it goes. We get the 55s. As IBIT, that's what I was going to talk about. IBIT making the move lower here. So I'll put another bid at 22 here. We are getting very, very light on all of these trades, right? I mean, the market is still bleeding and it looks like it's going to be down 1% right there. Missed opportunity early on the VWAP break of the TQs or of just the Nasdaq in general. See, look, that's another great out there on silver. I mean, I'll pat myself on the back because, you know, we're just trying to, we understand that this looks very strong right now to me. It looks like it is going to break higher. I'm out on a break of 80 on this. We've already sort of talked about that. So any more dip buys, I'm here for that. And it looks like a good out there on IBIT as, oh no, we didn't get that fill on IBIT. It went into 20s and then right back up. So maybe the market's getting a little spicier right now. Let me bid some 31s and see if we get that there. There goes silver. So we'll slap a fail on the last little bit there of SLV as it does come out right there at the 200 period moving average. Like I said, we had about, I can see exactly how much we had left. Oh, wow, I got a whole bunch of partial fills out. Oh, my God. I would say we probably had about 20% left or so. As there it is, a little bit of a fade now. You know what? Let's just try that one more time because we didn't have that many shares left. And this is sometimes when we get a little carried away with ourselves here because there was the stop out. We got stopped out. The trade is now broken. But I'm just going to see if it does want to try one more time back up there through that 80 marker because it literally stopped out almost exactly at the 200 period moving average. So we'll give it to that top of 86 now. All right, so 78, 86. Let's just make sure that that is the right trade because I don't want to look back at this and be like, what have we done? So, excuse me. Okay, so that's what we're doing right now. SLV, we'll see if we can get back into it. Giving ourselves 10 cents now on that break higher. SLV, very much dancing now near these highs there. And we could also look at the dollar. I know we have a super chat. I'll get in that in a minute.
Oh, okay.
When the dollar, well, you can just put it up. I just want to look at the dollar quickly. All right, the super chat is there. That's good. All right, so pretty choppy here on the US dollar right now on the DXY. So we'll see if we can get downside. Okay, take a little bit more profit right now. Ring the register on silver as it just pulled back in a little bit there. We'll make what we lost on that last there and get reloaded more shares than we had before. So far, so good on that one. Feel a little silly making money on it, but there it is. Nice move on the reload of silver. We did get stopped out at the top, though.
Throwing the Z's up in the chat is how do you guys see CoreWeave? Well, usually I just type CRWV, and then it's on the Nasdaq, and then I hit enter, and then it pulls up a nice little fun chart for me. Will they repeat the video script for Infinite Dump? Being facetious there. My first guess would be, yeah, if this one pops, I wouldn't trust it tomorrow morning. I'm just being real. But I don't know what their quarter is going to be like. There's certainly lots of concerns with regards to CoreWeave. I just feel like the price action might end up being obscenely obvious if we're too close to 100 bucks. I'm going to treat like $100 on CoreWeave like I'd treat $1 on a penny stock, right? Like if we're above it, great. Breakout on CoreWeave. If it can't hold above $100, I want no piece of this, no part of it whatsoever. I just think there's way too much downside. If they're going to sell Nvidia, how are they supposed to like this? But you have to remember, we have a whole day for Nvidia to do whatever it does for the rest of the day. The sentiment could be completely different in a few hours from now. But right now, I am not trusting CoreWeave with a 10-foot pole. That's just myself. And that $100 level is going to matter. And the fact that we're failing it today is not a good start. So you might have just seen there in silver, but ZSL as well just bounced off these lows again and is still trying to hold above the volume weighted average price. It's not doing a very good job of it, so we're just going to kind of continue to scalp it in this range and see if we can get that breakout eventually. And if it breaks this range, I think you could shoot right back into those highs. ZSL did a reverse split. If you're just tuning in now, that's why it's no longer $1.80. It's now $18. Very normal for these 2x leveraged. I think this one's, yeah, whatever. These leveraged ETFs do this all the time.
Yep. Right back into, obviously, silver as that's going to the downside. And wow, what a move on IBIT. And I just was reminded there, thank you to everybody in the chat, about that sticky note call out. There it is right there, 38.75 right there on IBIT. So that's why I said, looks like we want to set that up. That's where we're going to start the trade. That's exactly where we're short. So that was a good trade there for IBIT, 39 short. Nvidia long, no. And we said, let's wait to 935. That trade was broken at 925, so we didn't even want to take that. The AMD short, we could talk about it. Then silver short breakdown, and that's printing right now. Nice. So there goes silver right back into the 30s. And yeah, man, we'll be positive on this one, despite obviously getting that stop out, or not early, just right now, where we got stopped out. And we were like, hey, like I wouldn't, look, I'd be able to live with myself, but that was an out that was fine taking, and I just got to do better so I don't like get too excited about getting right back in, because often being stubborn is not, I know that's a Capricorn thing apparently, but, oh, I looked up what Virgo is supposed to mean. Let me see here. Virgo. In astrology, Virgo is an earth sign ruled by Mercury. Okay, that's nice. All right, what is, I don't care about that. Detail-oriented and analytical? Nah, I'm not too sure about that. Practical and grounded? I mean, don't mention that to my wife. Service-oriented, okay, active services, they show a lot of care there. Oh, they are the shoulder to cry on. That's probably pretty close. Perfectionists, I don't know about that one.
Did it give you a lucky color for today? Oh, I asked Gemini, and it gave me, I have literally a lucky color for today.
Critical.
It's white, Adara, which Clearly, I didn't get that. You see how much I care about astrology.
Yeah, well, if you never looked at it before, who knows? Well, man, you gotta have a lucky color. Right now, I don't know if my lucky color today might be white as well, because we're 2 for 2 and absolutely pumping right now. I mean, this has been a great morning. We're at the highest spot I've been at all day here now. So that turned out to be a great trade there on silver to reload it. Now let's hold, man, and see how low can we go. And there's the break that we waited for, baby. So we can't be happier than that right now. Thankfully, we were able to get right back into it. And there goes silver. Yeehaw to the downside, man. We are now breaking all over the place. It's a dollar club right now on SLV, and it's IBIT. IBIT for the dub there. What a move on IBIT. Your #1 trade idea on the list is now 75 cents in the money. And all we've been doing is straight chilling, man. And that's part of the best thing. There it is. Do more of what works and less that doesn't. Exactly. And that's exactly what I think I'm doing right now. And it's working, and it's working well. And that's why we're upping our shares over the last little while. So thank you, Cool43. IBIT down as well. Yeah, man. We're 2 for 2, man. And it's the same 2 calls that we had on here. The only thing I told you that we hadn't traded there was, wow, man, this market, like, what, 187 now for Nvidia? Like an absolute train wreck here to the downside for NVDA. But we couldn't be happier with the trading today, that's for sure.
Yeah, and ZSL just moved to the top for me and finally made that breakup. We scalped it inside of the range. It held the low. It never broke the pre-market bottom. And now we're headed for that high. I'm going to hold into the high, look for the dip above the volume weighted average price at this point. Okay, we're just going to call you Key. Thoughts on Open Door?
Oh, yeah, that was
Sorry.
higher,
Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you. But, oh, wow. Open Door is up today?
Yeah, it was up good. I was looking at it earlier.
Excuse my shock, but my thoughts are this $5 level has been a big one. Look at how clean that breakout is at $5. That's one where sometimes you just take 501 long and give it like 5 or 6 cents, and it's one of those trades. I'm usually thinking in the other direction. So you get up to 550, I'd almost be thinking reversion at this point. They dumped it after earnings at this price. Right, it was 560 resistance. I know because I had the long that day. I still have my trend line. It formed the bottom here, higher low, so it was long into the top. When it broke trend, I got out. So I look for the same thing, only the long was a win, but the short reversion was better up here. And as I say that, it's already starting to revert the move. My bad. But yeah, into this range, I think you're looking for a reversion on Open Door. I'm just not that much of a believer of the stock, especially when they showed you sell, sell, sell after earnings at these prices. Is that a dare?
I believe so, yeah.
Yes.
More vague, and I'm going to be honest, kind of oddly worded headlines here with regards to Iran and the U.S. We do have here Iran's press TV saying that parts of the U.S. discussions were conducted directly. Unclear what that exactly means. They also said that they will not be allowing enriched uranium to leave the country. So take that how you will, but that is what's happening here with Iran. We're getting some more comments from those talks with Geneva. Let's get right into these small caps. I apologize, I'm having some computer issues. I'm just going to show them all for you guys right here. ALBT, here's the headline on this one. Avalon Global Care partnering up with AMD to, quote, supercharge AI. Fun, vague AI headline for a small cap, sending it sharply to the upside as we kind of suspect, or as we are kind of used to at this point. UOKA is the ticker, but the company's name is MDJM. This is a name that's rallied in the past. Today, MDJM up. This headline's from like Monday, but they basically announced, or sorry, Friday, I guess, they announced that they're going to be working in Scotland for an animation art gallery. Last but not least, RXT. RXT did have a new catalyst today, guys. We know they had recently had a Palantir partnership, but they also reported quarterly earnings, beating on EPS, beating on sales. Their guidance, though, a little bit worse than expected for both sales and EPS. So EPS and sales beat for the quarter, guidance miss across the board. Furthermore, more tensions here in the Middle East. IDF, Israeli Defense Forces here, announcing that they have struck Hezbollah infrastructure in Lebanon. Back to you.
Yeah, oil futures, we're actually just talking about oil futures. Still, we're basically, yeah, we're still flat. That's crazy. But we just had a bit of a spike. So we just went to a bit of a spike. We just broke the trend, but we haven't really gone into the green yet. I think that's very, very possible. Like, it's trending to the upside. But if you got to keep in mind, so much of this that there's going to be an action has been priced in, so we're a little bit off of the local highs. But yeah, good strong upward trend. Like the energy names, it just hasn't really pushed on through, in part possibly because this is what everybody sees coming. But man, Nvidia, let's go back to square one. And it's Nvidia, and it's Dumpsville, and it is sell the news, and it's the 50-period moving average on the daily. And like maybe you could call this a bounce spot, but the second 194 couldn't hold. Like, how are you supposed to like it? We're down 5% now on Nvidia, and this is beats across the board, revenue growth, all of the things that you wanted to hear, you heard, and they didn't care. Well, we got a button for this. I mean, the market turned around a while ago, but it's almost at 2%, so might as well hit that button at some point. And it's all led by Nvidia catching strays. I mean, arguably catching, we said this earlier, arguably catching a bigger stray is Broadcom down 6.5%. Like, I know Nvidia is stealing the show because it's their day and it's earnings and blah, 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 but Broadcom's losing the 200-period moving average here. And this is a bad-looking chart. You can zoom back far enough, and trust me, if you zoom out forever in a monthly, Broadcom's just fine. But on this daily, we're losing the 200 after holding. Look at the sellers that were just there at that 50-period moving average. This is something that could be breaking, and Broadcom is a big part of both the ES and the Nasdaq. So you better believe it. This is not a good day. 25,000 just went on the Nasdaq. This 200-period on Broadcom just went. 187 just went on Nvidia. Yikes.
Shout out here. Thank you so much, Danny Patel. It is amazing what we do. We're here every day, and it's amazing that you guys are here every day with us. So thank you for all of your support there as well. Yeah, Danny, oh, you're on the SQQs, eh, Danny? Okay. That might be a good one. And here it is right here. He's telling everybody, get into the chat immediately, and Neil and I will be able to see all of these posts. And we want to say SQQ. Yeah, man. I mean, for me, the TQs, I mean, look, we're on what we're on right now, and we're on one, that is for sure. Like, so there it goes, man. There goes IBIT, the number one trade idea on the note today. But let's look at the broader market just real quickly. I want to thank everybody for watching with us. Oh, the TQs, that's what I want to talk about. Yeah, the Nasdaq it's just a matter of like, it just got started too quickly, and I've sort of sat here, like I'm at the highest spot I've been at all day now. So, happy with that. But part of it is the reload in the short. Fabian messaged me. That was me when I first started to learn, like I was saying, started to learn how to trade the markets, was me on that boat there back in the early 1900s, I guess. But all right, so there's the TQs back to the downside. So it was just like, if it hadn't started so early, we might have been able to get onto this. Our IBIT and our SLV really got us in almost immediately. So that was part of that trade there, and it just missed it. Like if we were to hovered around the VWAP or the 50-period moving average a little bit longer, like more than like 1 minute off open, then we could have been there. And the only thing that would have been the proper thing to do would have been to watch this 25 period and maybe go short with that one. But that's kind of what we're doing now with silver, waiting for that to break. And I know we waited last time for all the way up there. You know what? We're out of a lot of that trade now. We could probably wait again to see if that breaks higher. I think that's probably something to do. And then IBIT, I think we could probably follow that now. We watched yesterday, and yesterday we had that $14 winner on Coinbase, and we had talked about, why or how we could have potentially held that a little bit more. There's the 50-period moving average. That would have been really something to watch out for that break that winds up happening at 12:30. So yesterday we were long down here. Again, the number one trade on today's sticky note is short IBIT. That's $1 in the money, or almost. And then the trade yesterday on Coinbase was the long. So it's just about like, those are the trades. They don't always work out, but when they do, you sometimes want to try to hold them so that you can, capitalize on a bigger move. So, excuse me. So for me on IBIT, we know that it has a potential to tank, and that's exactly what it did. So there's the trade of the day for me. Let's just watch the 50 period then. So let's put it at 38.25. My most recent stop was 38.61. So we'll go now to 38.25. We still have 35 minutes until I'm out of here, so that's okay. So we'll see what winds up happening. But that's that stop. And like I said, it was silver. Let's just put a bid out here, get out of another piece near these lows. And that way, if it does go back up, because it did scare me a little bit. You had a grayed out near the top, which was great. So let's just wait to see here if we can. We have
the bottom for you.
Yeah, near. Well, no, the top for you.
Well, yeah, I know.
The bottom for me. So we have some outs there. Okay, here we go. So now it's starting to get to the downside. So take out a little bit there and then see what winds up happening moving forward. But silver, yes, and silver and gold. Actually, we didn't look at gold. We can see what that's doing.
Not as much.
Not as much, okay. So there's silver today. There's gold today. It's near the lows, I guess. But
Every time
it actually looks exactly like, wait a minute, is this the gold chart or the silver chart?
The gold chart.
They're identical charts today.
The percentage is even the same.
But like the chart is identical.
What the heck?
Like here's the base.
This
is me getting short on silver, right? There's the base. There's the stop out that I had. There's the reload. There's the downside play.
Algos.
Same thing on silver and gold.
Algos.
Okay. Whatever. But anyways, good trading there, I feel like, on silver and on gold today, if you were able to catch that short.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a little bit weird. Usually I usually would expect GLD to move a little bit less. Charts to be the same, but just move percentage-wise a little bit less. It is flat, by the way. I just think gold is better suited to the flight to safety, obviously, as opposed to silver. Like its chart looks a little bit better on that day, on the daily there. But as Sean mentioned, we are headed back up. So just one quick update for myself. You kind of have a trend up from the volume weighted average price now. If we can't break the high, like this high right here, which would be the low on silver, or break the high at the open, then this is a potential trend break, which would exit the trade for myself. Over back into the chips, Nvidia is still working down lower highs all the way through. It's really not showing any signs of abating. I had my eyes on Intel. Maybe it could break trend, and it's trying to a little bit.
Oh, boy.
But then you're right back into the lows. Okay, there's that break of the high of the day that just came in. So I'm going to extend my trend line. We're holding through the high break. See how far this one might go. ZSL, if you're just tuning in now, was a reverse split. I know it used to be $2. Now it's 19. It was a 1 for 10 reverse split on this ETF.
Oh, boy. Wow, good silver trading, man. We're both using opposite directions, but the exact same thing. There goes silver. Wow, that's all I can say right now. I'm so thankful that I reloaded that trade. I don't know what I would have been able to do just watching this bleed like that and wondering why I don't have more shares. But there it goes. We'll take another bid near those lows and just, wow, absolutely exploding to the downside right now. And again, 2 for 2 today. It is what it is, and we keep on getting a little lower. Let's look at Google, see what's going on there. I said, what? Oh, man, down 2% is the market. Down 3%. Look at Google. Like, I don't even know what in the, all right, guys, this is starting to get nasty, as Janet Jackson would say. Apple right here. Yeah, exactly. What is even that? Apple, I think, is the one that's holding out the best. Apple only down 1%. What is Meta thinking about all of this? 650 actually holding out pretty good too. It looks like it's going to be Google right now. That was the big surprise for me right there. Is there an individual story about Google here or something?
There was a positive. There was a story I thought there was one this morning we were going over. Yeah, go ahead.
There was one that came out right as, literally right before the bell. It was the information reporting that Alphabet and other big tech companies, but they only named Alphabet, are going to be apparently needing to borrow billions of dollars. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just one quick note here, because I want to explain why I just jumped out in front of 19.5 on ZSL. And I can't do this with my ZSL chart because it's not split adjusted, so I'm just going to show it on TradingView. This is the resistance spot at 19.5 for the last little bit. So this is a bit of a level. It would have been like a $1.95 before, but the second it got up there and pressed higher, we did a bit of a topping tail. Saw that 19.5 and found some resistance. So I'm going to look for VWAP for a re-entry here on ZSL. But just note that was a resistance spot, or I guess support for silver in the last couple of days. Resistance for ZSL. We're still in that WBD, and then C3AI, which is doing the exact same thing it was before. Still waiting for it to hit VWAP. Hasn't broken the high. Hasn't broken down. But the only other name that's going to be on the radar now, if we don't get a reload into silver, is to jump back over to the quantum names. 30 minutes to go. IONQ, it broke trend. It's now trying to hold on to VWAP. It's not looking very good, but it was actually, if we're looking weak, I prefer D-Wave on weakness to IONQ. That's for two reasons. One, we don't usually have to borrow on QBTS. I would believe you have to actually borrow shares on IONQ, and they missed. So they missed on the top and the bottom here on QBTS. So if we're losing the bid on the quantum names, I preferred IONQ to the long side. QBTS, I believe, is a short. It's trying to hold underneath the volume weighted average price as we speak. It's going to double, I said it, it's going to double check. Yeah, we can short this one for free. And sometimes it's as simple as that. Usually you got to pay for Rigetti for locates. Usually you have to pay for IONQ. On D-Wave, not so much. Not sure why, but that's just how it is.
Yeah, we did have some moves this morning there and yesterday, IONQ and QBTS. What I said we would do, and I keep on not doing it, is just showing you guys, because this market is absolutely, like, Nvidia right now is down like 5% at its lows right now, and we keep on getting lower here on Nvidia. Like, did AMD break 2 bills yet or what? Like, geez, what a good reload. That was that, as if that just happened there. What time was that trade that just came in on AMD? Oh man, missed opportunity right there. Oh, that was not even that long ago. That was 15 minutes ago. This stock was just 208 15 minutes ago. Now 202.
Look at the VIX
That's
right
$6, man. Down to the downside there instantly. They are just cracking. Remember we said about the day 3 play? That's why on Nvidia, man, day 3 play. Give it a chance. Like, I like Nvidia, and I can't believe on that number that we're down 5%. I don't even want to go in and buy it. Like, normally I'd be like, let's buy a name like that on a dip 5%, but this early into earnings, let's stay a little disciplined. It's tough to be disciplined, I guess, if you're long when you're seeing stuff like this. But, we do have to talk about the XLF. Yeah, it looks like the banking sector looks to be long today. I'm not sure what's up with this. Commercial services, I don't know why that's up right here. I don't even really, XYZ, commercial services. There's PayPal.
How is PayPal going to be down today?
I don't know what's going on. And then that's consumer services there, McDonald's as well. So like anything that's kind of outside of the purview for AI and tech, I think is going to win. Yum China, Yum is thinking about spinning off Pizza Hut, I believe. So that would be a good story there for them. We saw KKD, Donut, Krispy Kreme. Used to be KKD, switched the name to D-Nut. That one there is moving around today. And, no love for this space, which I'm kind of surprised. I thought there might have been, with tech getting smoked, I thought there could have been a little bit of a rotation back into maybe healthcare tech. I guess it's technology there, so maybe that's why it's getting hit. Healthcare was moving around pretty good yesterday. Health services, UNH another percentage point today, up 1.2%, 1.7%, sorry, for UNH. My space in there is Oscar. I own some Oscar. I actually don't own any Oscar. I think it's $13. Hold on a second. OSCR. This is what I own. Own very, 13. So own these ones pretty light there. I think UNH is a safer trade to put more money in than Oscar. Oscar's, you're just trying to see if the best.
Hasn't been that. It is, but it hasn't been that.
We talked about, no, it hasn't been that great. We talked about Samsara yesterday, how I like this stock. I did a little thing on Samsara yesterday. There it is, up 4%. So we'll go diamond hands on this one. Shout out to Commodity King in the chat. He knows what this is all about. I've been talking about Samsara for a minute. There's a nice move up. IoT, we used to have Raider Trader, and he used to talk a little bit about that as well. IBIT, again, guys, like I said, I'm out of here in 20 minutes. Get that gym life going, and then maybe you have to stay, though, the way this market's trading today. But there it is, man. We'll take another bid at the low of the day for IBIT. And if you're looking for something, it's all on the note, man. We put out the sticky note every day around 8:30, and it could just be a guide for what you're thinking. Please don't, copy all of these trades exactly. But if you do, then... But I'm not, this is not financial advice, man. These are just the notes that I'm looking at. It all started by me just sitting here writing down the note, and one day on the show, someone was like, what is this guy writing down? I was like, I'll just share it with everybody. So it's the top 4 or 5 names that I'm looking at every day. And today I only have 2 trades, IBIT and Silver. I marked them both as shorts, and as you guys can see here today, there's my Silver short. Hi-ho, that's going to be a monster trade there, but the bigger one for me today is IBIT, as that's just making a move lower, because we have 3 trades there, like a bunch of different, not even reloads, just averaged it in there at 60s, because I was like, I don't want to miss the trade, and then it popped up and gave me that 70, and that's the fill to the downside. So it's been good, man. I really think that you want to look at Nvidia now moving forward, because I think it's probably overdone. It's just a matter of waiting for it to finally bounce. So if I'm not here during the midday, take a bounce, man. And I think you want to wait for that 50 period to break. So that right now will be 187.50, so you're still a minute away from that. But once that breaks, that should be a trend change. Normally it's the 200 period, but you don't want to wait for 195. That's going to be way too late to get that name. So that's what I'm looking for there on the move back up. But so far, so good here today. And, you know, the market is an interesting thing, that's for sure.
Oh, it definitely is. And it is so far so good. But the J. Lou just put a name in the chat that you might not have seen on that little sector watch that you were just doing.
No, probably not.
VST, but don't forget.
Oh, Vistra?
And Super No-No as well. $ VST next. You want Vistra in there, just go $ VST, $ Nvidia. That way it'll show up on our visualizer. Look, Vistra, it's not looking good. They're also down 6 points. And remember, power is everything. I mean, heck, they said it in Apollo 13, it was true.
Yeah,
and it's true when it comes to the AI trade, but not today. Everybody is catching a stray. Vistra looked like it was on the verge of a big-time breakout. You can also see CG was doing a similar thing as well, and they're making a pretty big, hefty pullback. Vernova's down 3%. Hey, it's possible for this stock to go down, believe it or not. It hasn't really gone down for more than a day or two in a row, but this could be a bit of a topping tail. It just hit almost $900 in pulling back. So these energy names that have been such a big story when it comes to AI, when it comes to powering these data centers. Yeah, Nvidia's earnings you would think would give them a boost fundamentally, but they're selling off just like the rest of them. Seems like everybody's headed back down, although we're headed back to the desk.
Take a look here at this Nasdaq. We are getting more comments here. Oh, I don't know why. Yeah, there we go. There's the Nasdaq up to date. We're getting comments on Iran, this time from Senate Majority Leader John Thune, saying that, quote, if the U.S. takes action in Iran, the goal should be regime change. So, I guess kind of harsher words here when it comes to the U.S. and Iran. Back to you.
Regime change? I, for one, am shocked.
Yeah, I think that's what they've been going for a minute there. All right, just an update. Because we are getting close, 78. I'm going to try to use potentially VWAP right into there, 78.40, 78. So if this breaks above 78.40, we're going to get out of SLV and just ring that register. So that was a good trade there. IBIT, we just took another piece out on IBIT as it went low. So we're just going to watch out for that. And I think we can use this as well. I think the tides are turning a little bit here. 38.16. So I'm going to change. It was 38.26. We're just going to go to 38. Let's go to 17 right there. We'll push offer, enter, and then get going on that trade and then wait to see what's going on. Let's check out that ALBT. This has been a name that some of you have been on, Avalon Global, and we've seen a nice hold there of the dollar mark. So that's a good little hold there of $1. Also now where the 200 period moving average is. So that's going to be a good look there for ALBT. We do have the stock visualizer up. We want to thank everybody for, your super chats and everything today, but all you got to do is put in the chat there, $, and then whatever name you want us to look at. Obviously today it looks like Nvidia's leading the way there. UiPath, SoFi coming back upside. Just to see if there's anything significant. IONQ, I think that right into here. IONQ is a big name today, up 18%. Funny to see yesterday's big trade, actually my number one P&L name. Even though we had that big winner on Coinbase, Palantir was my number one trade yesterday. We were long 129, 130 yesterday on Palantir, and that was an absolute banger. Neil looked at Open Door a little bit earlier today as well. Nice move up for, so it's like, look at this. All these names are green here today, despite the Nasdaq being down 1.2%.
Well,
what is it now?
like that.
1.6%.
Because that means the viewers, look, obviously, mostly, I guess, viewers, traders can be biased to the long side, and in the long run, you're biased to the long side. You got to look for where the strength is sometimes if you're looking for breakout trades or the continuation trades. And I don't hate to say it, but I'm surprised to say it. Open Door is looking like it wants to break out the highs. There's no catalyst that I'm aware of for Open Door today. They did report earlier in the week, and they got dumped after a nice breakout off the $5 level, but it's going into this zone where they sold it before. It was $5.60 was the high. If we break out the top, then you could get to that 550 again. I was just looking back over at ZSL because, oh, that's right, I have to always zoom in because there you go. It's trying to bounce off VWAP. It's tagged it once, still working on a reversal of the trend, at least for now on ZSL. But what's happening in Nvidia, what was that? That was weird. Nvidia
got
looks
out
like
of
it's
IBIT.
Nvidia looks like it's turning a bit here off of these lows. So this could be finally breaking the trend. It hasn't really confirmed it until you close the candle above. You've wicked this trend line like 3 or 4 times and not been able to hold over and over again. But if this is the bounce, maybe Nvidia's finally catching that long.
Oh yeah, new position, man. On that theory, on that thought, I'm long. So I'm long right now on TQQ. So we'll take a 38. We'll get out at 50 there. 51s actually as it busted through. I'm just going to use, like I said, this 25 period moving average. There's the break. We finally get that break there on the TQs. So here's the move all the way down. And I was going to say maybe that's a more aggressive play there, you know, to wait for that to break. But we'll start it now. We'll get a little light. We'll see if we're able to get something more in and around this marker there. So that's that. And then IBIT, man, we will wrap up that trade and give that a fruit salad trade right there, because that was a good one, and it just goes to the upside. That's a face slapper on IBIT. So we'll get out there. We didn't have that much left, and we were able to actually, good thing we noticed that when that made that move, able to get a little bit out. But okay, so here we go, back up through 50. Let's just hold our next out here. We'll put something in the 80s, see if we're able to grab something there on the TQQs. But hey, man, we're in it right now. Let's fire it off and go props up for anybody that's been trading today, because it's been a good day for trading, and that is for sure, as we've seen a lot of movement in a lot of names, right? Regardless of if you're an oil trader, financials have been the one positive thing there. If you're trading the Nasdaq, wow, congratulations, boy, did you get that move on the way down. If you trade silver, gold, those were good trades there today. Crypto couldn't have been better. Let's check out what's going on with Coinbase real quick, because yesterday we did have a big trade on Coinbase. All right, so obviously didn't actually have too much of a dramatic move, to be honest with you, considering what yesterday's move was. Would have been expecting a little bit more here on that move down from Coinbase. But yeah, I wonder if Coinbase is a longer term buy right now at some of these levels. Maybe we'll do a little bit of work on Coinbase. But yeah, so far so good here. Nasdaq back to the upside. Silver just gets stopped out. And hey, man, that's a face slapper too today. We'll be happy with silver. But there's the stop out. Always could get out lower, but in trying to hold, sometimes you give a little bit back. So that's what happened there on silver, just gave a little bit back. And here comes TQs. We take another little bid there. Remember, we're waiting for 49.10 to break. Now that we've broken back above the 25 period moving average, we're just seeing if there's some momentum long here. And there it is. Let's take another piece out here at 43. We just take another 10 cents. So that's a little bit of a reload there at near the lows. We'll take out another piece at 48. Let's go. There it goes again. Nice move to the high side. So, oh boy, we're back in this. What's up, Adara?
Time to talk about the sectors. There, as you can kind of guess here with the market, there is a lot of weakness here, but there's a lot of strength as well. So we'll start with what's strong. Finance, green across the board here. Consumer services looking great, as Sean mentioned earlier. Airbnb, shout out here, 3% to the upside. Transportation, strong. Commercial services, pretty strong here. And a lot of tech services names actually are green today. Now, you might not know it looking at Google down 2%, but I mean, you've got IBM, CRM, AppLovin all up 3%, Intuit and ACN up about 6 to 7% each. So there's a lot of strength in some of these beaten up software as a service or SaaS names. Go to electronic tech, though, there's very little strength to be found. RTX up like 0.5%, but other than that, Nvidia leading the group to the downside on earnings. AVGO, if people are wondering why this is down, could be Nvidia sympathy, but they also did have their own story, not in and of itself a negative one, but it's talking about some of their 3D chip sales. They're expecting to have 1 million of those sold by 2027. Micron to the downside, Intel to the downside, AMD to the downside, ADET to the downside. So very little strength in the electronic technology sector versus tech services. Producer manufacturing red as well. A lot of these like AMAT, LRCX, Caterpillar, GEV, pretty weak today. Health tech getting hit as well, guys. Back to you.
Thank you, Adara. And that's right. Like, it's a lot of things are getting hit. Some of the names have been incredibly strong and they're getting dragged down. Because remember, like you talk about, Caterpillar is another example of this. Well, why has Caterpillar been strong? Part of it has been the backlog of generators, the build out of data centers and their benefit there. So if there's skepticism or selling the news on Nvidia, then it can also bleed over to them as well. So the confirmation, we actually closed holding the trend line here on the 3-minute, but I didn't actually get in until the following candle, which held the prior, so that's good. But 186 has got to hold. If it can't, then this is going to be a dump out zone. I got Reggie Miller at 31s, but we can't seem to break that first even dollar here on Nvidia. And when the stock is down 13, the $1 move ain't gonna look like much on the chart. In fact, I'm really just looking at the 188 at this point for a bit of a resistance level to start coming back in. Like if we think this is the bottom, this lower high puts you at 188. You break that and you're thinking 189, just looking at prior resistance levels here on Nvidia. So that's where my head is gonna be at on this bit of a bounce. On the 15-minute, this is the first green candle of the day. If you can't get two, then I'm through, at least for now, on this trade. So regardless of how this trend break goes, if we end up with another red candle and for some reason it's just slightly sideways, I'd probably still want to jump out of that one and then move on to the next. Unfortunately, I did want to reload ZSL, that silver trade at VWAP, but you know what? Just because there's a line on the chart, which is VWAP, and I want it to hold, it doesn't. It breaks right through. There was no consolidation. There was nothing about it that said buy. So we're right back into where we had it the first time. Bit of a seed change. I feel like if the market's bouncing, it would make some sense that you don't want to sit on the falling knife of ZSL, which would be silver going to the upside. So if the rest of the market is going with it, then I'm going to be a little bit more patient, especially at this time of the day for the reload. And there goes, Nvidia couldn't hold that prior bar. So we got one out in front of 187, and then the prior bar low gets taken out. Sorry, I have to redraw the trend line for you. So we get in on this bar, we lose the prior, and now I'm jumping out of the trade. If I'm going trend reversion, I'm gonna have my rules in place because the stock is down, it's down for a reason. When a trend breaks, I want it to go right away. If it's instantly failing, no mas. I'm just gonna quickly jump out of it. So thankfully we got something out in front of the 187, kind of an ominous number. Commodity King saying look at TMC. You know what, we haven't looked at the metals company. I actually can't remember the last time we looked at MP Materials or any rare earth names. Yeah, not bad. It's only up a couple of points and on very light volume here, but it's back above the 200 pre-moving average. And now I'm gonna look at MP because I haven't in quite some time. And for the long term, you don't always look at things every single day on the long term. Yeah, it's still holding the same support levels. Kind of a nothing burger, but it's back above the 200, the 50 and the 200 period moving averages are right there on MP. This is a good buy zone for it. I say that as someone who has already bought the 200 period moving average on MP Materials, but they're starting to heat up a little bit. Not bad.
Thank you, Adam, in the chat there. Yeah, it's a pretty good day, needless to say. And then we were short everything, silver and IBIT, and now we're long. And there it goes on the TQ. So not only, Adam, did we hit the short, but now we're in the long, back to the upside right here again. So we'll go 3 for 3 today, and I want to thank you for the support and the nice comments there, in the chat. So my hat's off to you, Mr. Deleuze, and thank you so much for that support there. And, we always talk about you. So, all right, so 302. Yeah, that looks like a shout out to Celine as well. All right, so there it is, 302 coming through for Google. We actually highlighted that when it came in. Nice little base there. That would have been a fantastic look on Google because you finally get that base, and that's kind of some of the stuff that you want to look for. But right now, man, we are just spinning this through on the TQs as that just keeps on going higher and higher and higher. And today for lunch, for breakfast, we had shakshuka. Let's go find out right now what's for lunch as we get a little bit excited here for the day. It's funny because Nasdaq being down 1.5% off that Nvidia earnings call is something very, very strange to me. Okay, man, this is a homesick day today. We do have, it's God's country. It's the Italian flag today, so we're really happy about that. But generally speaking, when it's an Italian flag, these caterers have never had pizza or anything like that. So that's not going to happen. They've never had lasagna or anything like that. Yeah, thank you. Never had lasagna. Never had that. Never had arancini or anything like that. Or, but they do have beef bolognese. So that's what it is today. It's a beef bolognese once again. They're grilled seasoned vegetables with chef's choice salad. So although, it'll be not my favorite for a day like today is we get it on salad and everything like that. So probably going to come. It doesn't even make any sense. Yeah, you have to reheat it and everything like that. But hey, man, that's what's for lunch. A little beef bolognese in your life.
It's all right.
Okay, it's all right. Yeah, all right, so the Qs are having a problem here getting to the upside right now. I can't believe it's already 10:50. I mean, what kind of a day are we even having right now? I like Oracle, okay, for a potential long. And what I mean by that is not necessarily now. Oracle's PE is down to, I believe it was 14 or something when we checked that yesterday. So we could just have a quick run in here, go over to ORCL, have a look, and, 27, sorry.
It's the forward was 15.
Yeah, right now, oh, was it? Yeah, we don't have a forward on here. But this makes me think that I saw a name yesterday that was really low on the...
I swore I saw it.
Yeah, I thought it was Oracle, but there was a name that I mentioned yesterday that had a PE of around 14 or 15. PayPal's is 8. So, really like what PayPal's doing at these levels as well. I mean, PayPal with an 8 forward earn, that is a multiple that is so low. But remember, for a bank and for financials, often much different PEs as they don't have the growth potential as tech names do or anything like that, right?
18.
So, yeah, it's 18. Okay.
I see a forward P on Oracle of 18.5.
18. Okay.
I knew they were in the team.
Yeah, so did I. And I thought it was 14. Let me know, guys, if you were watching yesterday, what potential stock that was. Because there was one that I was like, oh my God, that's so low.
PayPal.
I was thinking about buying it. PayPal was 8. So I already know that. I don't even have to look that up. I remember that from yesterday.
Salesforce Pro.
Yeah, Salesforce this morning was 15 anyways.
Forward's 13.
Oh, maybe we had looked at that. But anyways, I still do like Salesforce for sure. Down at those levels. Oh, maybe, no, it wasn't.
It was not AMD.
No, AMD. So Nvidia, AMD is a PE of 80, which is why.
That's a troll.
I wrote down on the short today of AMD. AMD is double the price of Nvidia on a price to earnings ratio. So be careful if you're trading some advanced micro devices. Wow, the Q's getting a pop right here right now. Nice movement. We'll take advantage of that. Right into 70s again. Maybe there's news, maybe there's not, but we got to go to Adara for Money Talks as the market getting some legs right here. 40 cents in the money on the Q's. We're having a day. I hope you guys are too. What's up, Miss Adara?
There's one headline from Politico. This is about 5 minutes ago now. Trump weighing keeping billions in illegal tariffs. That's their headline, not my wording of it. But again, the headline from Politico, quote, Trump weighs keeping billions in illegal tariffs. Nothing like massive or anything either, because we already knew he was trying to keep this tariff money just in different ways. But yeah, I mean, that's the only headline I'm really seeing. Fed's Bowman talking as well to kind of transition this over to the US dollar, mostly talking about the Basel bank capital proposal. Nothing super huge here, but the DXY, you said that the push up here, leg up in the market, Sean. DXY, no leg, just a lot of chop, continuing to kind of waffle around that 98 level here. Today, actually green on the day, but still close to within the range we've been trading so far this week. Nothing massive here with that CME FedWatch tool, but while I have you guys here, let's talk about PPI tomorrow and get a little bit of a feeler for what that's going to be. So PPI tomorrow, 2.6% is the forecast for PPI year over year. Previous was 3%. PPI month over month, 0.3% versus the prior 0.5%. Core PPI year over year, 3% versus 3.3% previous. And month over month, core 0.3% versus 0.7% previous. Now, all of these numbers are implying, in some cases, a pretty stark drop from the prior print. Let's see if that's what ends up coming out here. Cooler than prior numbers. Back to you.
Thank you, Adara. And at 200, well, almost at 200 is CRM. Salesforce. This is it. If this was the software bottom, Salesforce it would make some sense that if someone was going to turn first, there's a logic to it being this name. I don't want to jinx the $200 level, but that was the big level on the 15-minute here on CRM. You just go back to, zoom out. Oh, I can't go any further. Okay, now I'm going to use the 30, so I can go a little bit further. And you'll be able to see it a little bit better when this chart decides to cooperate. So look at this 200. We've been consolidating here for the entire month of February, 175 bottom. So it is a big level at this time of the day, only 5 minutes until 11 o'clock. We throw you to the midday. Not the time that usually I would love a breakout trade. But if you hold over the 15-minute, like actually confirm buyers, then this can be a nice one to join. It just seems as if there's not going to be a reload in ZSL or the silver short. It's still trending down. It broke support. and that was a good reversal trade in the other way. It broke support. We're making fresh lows. Doesn't seem like this is going to come back in for a second time here, unfortunately. So kind of a nothing burger on the reload on any silver trade. But one name that I never got into, it's at VWAP now, it's going to be Intel. It took a while. It took all morning. But it just bounced back into the volume-weighted average price, down 3.5%. Probably just because Nvidia is down, if we're being real about it. There was no specific story for Intel themselves, just like there was no specific story for AMD. But the chips took it on the chin. And I liked it short at 40. Well, it was at 47. Looks like we would have had one shot when we were looking at other things. Now we can short off the volume-weighted average price.
Shout out in the chat there says, oh, there it is, Thomas. What's up, Thomas? Let's see if I can find your comment there. He wants to know where the BBAI army is at. So the Big Bear, here it is right here. What's up, Thomas? We're up 5% today. That's where we're at for now. But, you know, I just want to bring this up because, again, they're reporting. So about a 25 or so % short float reporting Monday. So you have a couple of days to get your Big Bear shares before they come out with something. And it's funny to see the market down 1.5 and BBAI up 5%. So I don't necessarily think we were expecting that one. But again, you know, deals with United States government, deals with some private sector names or public sector names as well. And private sector names, Big Bear AI. We'll wait to see what that revenue number looks like and what the guide looks like forward for them. We did see Palantir. Yesterday was a big trade for me on Palantir. Today we didn't really look at it. Could have gone long Palantir on that break right there of the 21 as well. We chose the TQs. You know, been okay, but the market could easily fade out. Maybe individual stocks. And we did have Anthropic. I think there was story this morning about how their days, they got to make a decision here, the Pentagon with Anthropic, and if they're going to award said contracts. So if there's anything there, that's not great for Palantir or Big Bear AI, but maybe if that doesn't happen, that's another boon for them. I am not worried at all. Big Bear AI basically back to where I'm long at, $4.20. So we'll have to you know, wait to see if that one can mature up. It's a play that I like for the rest of the year. I don't know, it's been getting hit down about 30% in a month. So you can see that a lot of these names just whoops to the downside. There's been a lot of names like that that have made those moves, especially aggressive AI-based platform names. All right, Tesla. Interesting name again here today. Started the day real nice, you know, 414, 415, and was trading quite well in the pre-market. Just looking like you wanted to average in to the downside, and then it just lost a bid right away at 414 as soon as the market opened up. So the trend was sort of down, then it continued pretty aggressively. Excuse me. This is where I think the mistrade is right here, 414. So, you know, you get that move almost right back into the pre-market levels again. While the market was still making moves lower, you did have an opportunity to grab that bid there at 414, came once and twice, and then lost it again. So I would say here, with only 2 minutes before we're gone, and then we pass over to the midday guys, that's not a horrible idea there if you can get something for Tesla in and around that area. I'm going to empty out one more time here a little bit at 66s. There, if we can get it on the TQs, there it is, we get it. As there's another high take on the TQQs. So we'll just keep on doing that, man. 3 for 3 today. It's IBIT. That was a monster trade for IBIT, man. Like, look at this trade there. Huge move to the downside, exactly what we put on the note. That broke, that was monstrous. Silver again, man, come on, let's give it up for that short, as now silver breaks higher. So that's pretty good. So that's 2 for 2. And then the TQs, man, we're just kind of waiting for this. My stop is still going to be basically where we got in and around 49.10. Okay, so if we break back down below that, then we'll get out, but let's let it see if it can get to VWAP, and then we can empty out the clip up there and conclude our day. So pretty good day so far. Yeah, SoFi green. Okay, that's nice. Just saw that in the chat as well. Yeah, the financials are what's blasting today, right? And so pretty much everything in that space is green. So congratulations to anybody that has anything over there.
Before we go to Adara,
yeah, we could say bye and then go to Adara.
Just a reminder, see that QR code you see out in front of you? Scan it and start your journey to the Trader TV.live Academy. You can already see posts in there from all of us. Look, we spent a long time developing this and wanted to make sure we got a good product out for you. So just make sure you check it out, scan the QR code. You can actually just go to tradertv.live and then be able to find all the information you want about it. Don't hesitate to ask questions. Jump in while the water is still nice and warm.
Yes.
Unlike my coffee, which is now cold.
I know,
we're gonna throw you guys to the midday, but before we do that, we're gonna go to the desk with Adara and then enjoy Sharif and Joey options. See you too.
Keep an eye on Tesla here, interacting with this 410 level as we get news that Tesla and the German labor union have reached an out-of-court agreement. So I guess labor agreement reportedly being settled to some degree here with Tesla and the German labor union. To send you back over to Sharif and Joe.